Welcome back, Exiles. It is that time. It is time for some glorious PoE sports. We've had quite a wild season in Season 3 here of the Act 4 Tavakai kill races for the Third Edict expansion. Welcome back. I am ZIGGYD, joined by my co-host, RaizQT. How are you doing this morning? Or this evening for you, Raiz? Excited, mate?
Hey, Ziggy. Hey, everybody. Pretty excited. It's going to be a pretty fun race. There's a lot of changes, a lot of different approaches. We've had a new winner last race, so pretty excited for that.
Wild. In fact, you guys don't see it yet, but in the background, my heart is breaking because the layout of our cameras has changed for the first time ever. We nearly always have the winner, Angormus, up the top perpetually, having that crowned, that emperor spot of Path of Exile racing. Undefeatable through the first two seasons, finally Angormus was dethroned. Let's be clear, Angormus still won every single warrior race. He hasn't lost the warrior title yet. But we have had people take the top overall winner. In fact, two new people with Whole New Society, and we will be spectating from the beginning this time around. Last race taking that overall win, but this is the one that it really all comes down to, because historically that third and final race has always been the one that people have practiced the most and gotten the fastest times in. And today people are going to be looking to get some final demis for sure, but it's really all about that fastest time. People want to win that opportunity to design a divination card with that fastest overall time. So do you have any expectations or predictions on that front, Raiz?
Oh man, there's so much changing. The mercenary takeover is crazy, and just so we're clear, the winners of the last two races, them being new to the rank 1 spot, not really new to the racing scene. They've been doing quite a lot of that, and yeah, it's been really interesting to watch that evolution, especially with casters showing up, and we're seeing more and more especially caster things in the early game with that essence drain approach for the first act until players are level 14 or so. It's pretty cool, and it's cool to see such a variety of skills really coming into play.
Yeah, we've had the most diversity ever in PoE2 racing, I think, with, even though you'll see a lot of mercenaries today, there's like, in fact, multiple people swapping to mercenary because they want the most competitive experience for this final race, which we'll see a little bit later on, I'm sure. But despite that, we've still had like the most diverse season. Where last race we got to see everyone finish in just about that 3-hour mark, which was super exciting to see. That is unprecedented for every class to finish within that amount of time. For Act 4, crazy. I don't even feel like we had that level of time finishes for Act 3 back in Season 1. So people have come a long way, certainly. And like you said, like seeing things like Essence Drain and Frostbomb on the mercenaries, we get to see monks using crossbows or using shields and doing shield slam or using monk abilities. We're seeing all sorts of different mixture of things. We're seeing some people ascend on the witch as infernalists and other people not. So it's been very cool experience to see everything evolving so rapidly over the course of these races. But we will be we should probably swap over because it's just about time for our races to be taking their mark. So let's head on over, and Raiz, could you introduce who we have on screen today? And I believe we should be having our race 2 winner in the top left, Whole New Society.
Yep, Whole New Society, definitely not a newcomer to the scene. He's been practicing a lot. We've been seeing a lot of different results across different classes. So it's cool to see that they seem to be finally settling for a mercenary. And hopefully we're going to see some more juicy action compared to last time. Because last time he was working in the shadows a little bit, and then he really showed up. It seems like he put in a lot of work and got a lot done in terms of practicing Act 4, and it really showed in the final result. Then we've got the race 1 winner of this season, Guy That Dies in the top right. Prominent racer in PoE 1, prominent racer in PoE 2. Really cool to see them improve as well. A little bit of speculation in the past that maybe it's our mystery racer Jose, but probably not. Let's be real. Hopefully we are going to be seeing some Jose, but who knows. And we've got Angormus in the bottom left. He has so far gotten all of the warrior demis, won 6 of the races, both of the first 2 seasons. So definitely looking to get a lot of excitement out of him. And interesting, he's sticking with the warrior, right? So no mercenary switch. Not sure if he's going for that demi or if he's really believing in the power of the warrior. He's had some funky RNG this season, but hopefully in this race he's going to be able to make up for that difference with pure skill and ability, and hopefully slightly better RNG. And then Shackle Coach in the bottom right, also a player who's been swapping between different classes, having different approaches, and now he's settling on the most competitive class, which from what I'm seeing is a mercenary, even though we're saying which on the screen. So
yes,
I wonder.
We're getting that fixed. But
Okay,
Shackle Coach did swap to mercenary just a few days ago, and I was watching their stream. They've been practicing like crazy. They were so exhausted because they've been practicing so much. Hopefully they got a decent sleep before the race.
Wow.
When I asked, they have this mindset of wanting to just be the best racer they can be. I feel like they're really racing against themselves, Shackle Coaches. So he was swapping to mercenary to have the most competitive possible experience. And you know, I admire that. I think Shackle Coaches kind of work their way into our hearts with their efforts here. But we are off
For sure.
And Angormus was saying there was some, you might have blinked and missed it. Angormus was saying there was some new NA tech for duping the one-handers at the start, maybe a little bit faster. I'm going to have to look at the VOD to see how he did that because he wasn't clear on the details. But he's got the 2 one-handed maces again, a little bit of just mild cheating there. It's all in good fun. Everybody's looking for ways to just cheat the system just a little tiny bit. And then we move into our Miller fights here with no real drama to speak of yet. We do see the Warriors going close to the door to get ready to enter town, while the Mercs pull the Miller away so that they can have the ability to phase through the door if they kill him off screen. That gives them the opportunity to do so. So that's the Mercs equivalent to duping their one-hander, I suppose. Oh, Shackle Coach eating a big slam from the Miller there, getting kind of caught on the bridge.
Yeah,
does manage to
still not going to be enough. Not going to be enough for poor old Miller, who's been putting up a good fight this season, but it's not going to be enough this time around for our precious Shackle Coach. Our players already, some of them anyway, in the town, some other ones still duping. Yeah, the NA thing might be related to the loading times. There is a little bit of an advantage for our NA players, which is also important to point out. That guy that dies, especially, has pretty lengthy loading screens, so he's really somebody who's been able to overcome that, which is kind of unprecedented in PoE 1 speedrunning. In PoE 2, there's still a little wiggle room where if you're playing good enough, you're going to be able to beat out those NA players. Now we've already got a Miller kill for Whole New Society.
Big differences in the amount of gems people are duping. So if you missed it, in addition to Angormus duping the one-handers, and if you didn't see it in the previous races, the racers have figured out a clever way to duplicate the starting gem as well. So they'll pick up the gem and then reset at checkpoint, which causes another one to drop, and then they put it in their inventory, and they can keep duping it that way. And each one of them sells for, I believe, 27 gold, so that they can do a little bit of a shopping spree at the start there.
Okay. Nice.
See, on the top left, Whole New Society has done their vendoring. They managed to pick a +2 to projectile skills crossbow. No prefix there, but that's just waiting for an augment. If they could get a decent damage augment on that prefix for that crossbow, they would have some insane damage to start with here. And also an early iron ring too, actually. So
holy!
Pick up for Whole New Society. So the damage is going to be looking fairly good there. Although it is worth noting that a good chunk of the damage for Mercenaries early game does come from Contagion, which is a spell and doesn't benefit from an iron ring or a crossbow. It's that baseline, and it is consistent, kind of helping with that clear speed.
Still, in the early game, this much single target, it's going to make a pretty big difference, I do believe. But right now, trying to get through the initial clear fire zone, we've already got some of our players taking down the Witch, and Gormus, you can see him stacking up and getting that big bone zone off on her. It's going to result in a lot of AoE that's overlapping, that's shotgunning, and the boss will be taken down with a nice swing of flurry of auto attacks. And I believe he's got movement speed boots with stun threshold 2, which is a stat at this stage of the game that is not to be neglected. Stun threshold definitely helps. If you're getting stunned, you can't control your character. And for that reason, that's going to save you a lot of time as Guy that dies. Already fighting the Witch. Pretty tricky fight. We've seen a lot of players, especially warriors, struggle in the past. The range approach seemingly a little bit more effective, but with the boss moving around so much, the explosive grenades tend to struggle as the delay is just so painful. He pulls her. Oh, nice. He actually gets frustrated. He pulls her into the hut, which is risky, but it's going to be easier to control her teleport. Nicely done.
Yeah, and I did see Shackle Coach get a nice Bira, so Ariadne kill there as well. But Guy That Dies taking a little bit longer. And we are swapping that bottom right perspective, especially as much as possible today. So we can just get a little bit of a lay of the land across the different classes. So Sarge 2, the Premier Monk experience. I believe last week went for a swap into shields towards the end game. So that warrior playstyle. Right. We do see some diversity in the monks and how they approach things with those, well, at least Sarge showing that the shields look to be the best approach, but starting out looking much like a warrior.
The damage from Whole New Society, he just like 3-shot the Witch. That was an incredible amount of damage. Yeah, that single target makes a big difference. It gets the ignite pretty much immediately off. It was huge.
Oh my god, I'm checking his gear right now, and he did land the augment on the crossbow with 1-7 lightning. But not only that, he picked up a rare pair of gloves with 2-3 fizz and 1-5 lightning damage. So he's actually just got an insane amount of like actual hit damage right now. So those explosive grenades, although slow, are going to be just destroying things like Ariadne, which is really good because that's like one of the hardest bosses at the start here, and indeed like Rust King and things like that coming up as well. So yeah, and
as our players are beginning to do their Abysses, friendly reminder, Abysses have some guaranteed drops, but they're also incredibly risky. So you're always trying to trade your survivability versus the potential drops, the guaranteed drops, and then also a whole lot of XP. And that's exactly what Whole New Society is going to be doing. You can see it takes a quite substantial amount of time, but it's going to be worth it in the long run, as already in PoE to speedrunning, you have to be preparing for Act 3, even Act 4, in Act 1 by trying to acquire as much currency as possible. This first Abyss, though, is going to be something that's going to guarantee our players a support gem once they visit town and talk to the NPC.
Well, this is weird.
Another boss, Bramble Gas.
Society going into Bramble Gas. Normally not something you would do at all, but the...
Look at that, though.
Single target he has right now means that he can probably knock it over in just a few seconds and get that extra gem. So... that's an extra level 2 skill gem, which the mercs are always looking for as many gems, especially support gems later on, as they can get their hands on. So unusual choices from Whole New Society here. I wonder if how much of this is adapting on the fly, because not only that, what I'm also noticing is that you see in the top right, Guy That Dies is using the contagion tech. So they'll use contagion and fragmentation rounds and grenades to spread that damage around and supplement mercenaries' kind of early struggles with clear speed. Whereas Whole New Society does not have contagion at all. We do see Frost Bomb equipped early. Usually that would be gotten later, but no contagion to speak of, which is maybe hurting their clear speed, despite their immense damage. It's just the problem is it's just cooldowns on grenades, right? And fragmentation just not hitting that much stuff.
Yeah, it seems like he's trying to get the one-shot off, but even with all this gear, he doesn't quite have enough damage to one-shot the mobs 100% of the time. Ooh, an Abyss next to the Obelisk for Whole New Society. That's going to be tricky. He's trying to pull the mobs away from it, but
he's getting stuck.
Yeah, with that limited AoE. Yeah, with that limited AoE, it's going to be tricky. With Contagion, it would have been so much more help. Although with Contagion, it is kind of tricky because you don't have access to Essence Drain yet. So later on, we're going to be seeing Essence Drain, especially on the caster classes, really destroying these Abysses. But in this early stage, you don't quite do enough damage, and that might be also the reason why he opted out of it. Act 1, definitely the most practiced act, so definitely something that he accounted for. And let's see the single target for Whole New Society. Guy That Dies also fighting the Rust King. And Gorham is also on the Rust King. He's going to get a big bone zone off. There you go. You can see a huge AoE. But man, it is not even close compared to Whole New Society. Holy.
That damage.
That's just not fair. Is this a twink run? Where's he got all this gear from?
He started and finished that Rust King fight while that guy that dies was still going, starting like, I don't know, 30 seconds before. It's been a slow and steady fight for guy that dies with no additional damage to speak of. This was my experience practicing on Merc. It is usually kind of like a bit of default attack to try and take Rust King down, but not the case for Whole New Society. Very
That is
juicy.
ridiculous. I mean, yeah, I thought it's going to make a difference, but this is a big difference. He's already up to the runic seals. He's going to be opening up the passage to the next zone. And man, this is a great start for the champion of our last race. A Sarge now on the Monk, fighting his Rust King. From the looks of it, with a warrior setup, so you have to put in a little bit extra effort to get those gems going. Not a whole lot of access to much damage at this stage of the game, so his damage is pretty comparable to the warriors. That being said, the Angorum is already in the Grim Tangle, and I really wonder, this is a pretty tricky zone. A friendly reminder also to everybody, a lot of friendly reminders this stream. 2.5 minutes death timer. So that's kind of a big deal over here. So it's not quite a hardcore race, but we've definitely seen the timer influence our players in ways that they wouldn't have liked otherwise. And we're going to have to probably be seeing some abysses here, as players aren't always able to get through these narrow corridors with the amount of mobs. Not a guaranteed drop that our players are going to be caring about, but there is a guaranteed boss in this zone. It's going to be tricky. And yeah, speaking of tricky, Angorum is already dropping low multiple times. This is such a hard zone for Warrior. Warrior in general kind of struggles because you just go through these two really long animations depending on the sort of weapon that you're going to be utilizing. It is really helpful if you manage to find a really strong one-hander. And speaking of strong, look at that single target from Whole New Society. Rotten Druid already at 50%.
Oh my!
Oh boy! Oh my!
Oh.
This is crazy. Again, to compare, you guys can pay attention to Guy That Dies, who's also a mercenary, and he's also a previous overall race winner. He's going to also be fighting the same boss in a little bit, and you can see the difference that a little bit of RNG can make, even in these early stages of the game. I'd like to think that RNG rarely determines the outcome of a race, but man, it's saving a lot of time. And what a box,
researchers,
too.
Oh my lord. Use rarity, quantity, and I think something else. Like, oh my, that's going to be a bit of currency for him. He's going to be flush with augments and ideally transmutes, which is actually often the bottleneck for Mercs. Let's see what he manages to secure out of that. But, you know, there's also potential something even a bit juicier there. Any alks are so precious. They need those.
I really. Oh my! What is happening?
Oh, that rarity hits so hard upgrading those currencies. Normally, it's always just augments and transmutes. There's 3 exalts and an alchemy. What the?
This guy's straight cheating.
All right, mate.
Iron ring?
Down. He'll get an iron ring here. Did he?
Did he?
No, it wasn't.
I can't see the loot drops. Right.
There's some mercy. He's already got 2 iron rings. He's already got 2. He was like,
wait, Ziggy, you can see his loot drops?
Yeah, I can see his loot drops. I'm hacking
yeah.
his inventory right now. He already has 2 iron rings. He didn't even need to go for that ring. He's like, I got all this crafting currency. I might as well.
Okay, yeah.
Come on.
That's pretty ridiculous. 3 exalted dirty orbs in his inventory. That's crazy.
Okay, well, we'll see if it lasts.
On the bright side, though, I do believe that everybody gets the same box. So if our players are able to find it, and they should be able to do so, you can see Guy That Dies is fighting the same thing. This is a fixed layout, which also means that it's the same shrines. I think the rolls on the boxes aren't the same, but I'm not 100%.
Yeah, Guy That Dies didn't get as good a box there, but still 2 exalts is insane.
Pretty
so
good.
A little bit of extra crafting currency this race, if they do manage to spy that strong boxes. It is kind of on the path that they're going to go because it's on the way to that extra ring there, which is a 2 ring drop.
Right? Yeah, I think so.
Weird. I mean,
RNG. I think it drops other things too, right? So you can definitely RNG it.
I guess I don't think I've ever seen it drop anything else. Wild.
That is crazy.
Okay. Let's see how that single target is still holding up now. As we're getting a little bit on, we're getting to the point normally where they'd be starting to swap to a like the next crossbow tier, but we are heading into the Yesenia fight. Timing of the grenades here is everything. The frostbomb and the grenades want to be there when she's not doing her melee attack that moves around, and that's ideal. She goes straight into the explosions. It's exactly what he wants. She's summoning. That's cheating. Perfect. Straight cheating. He'll hold off on the grenades here while she's doing her slashes. No, she gets stuck on the hole, so he can just finish her off right then and there. An ideal rotation on top of immense damage. Just taking every care to take full advantage of this current like early game extra damage that they have on the society, not really throwing away that positive RNG, you know.
Yeah, for sure. Right now, Angorim is heading over to his boss, running into. Oh, interesting. I think he found the boss, but he's opting to go for the Abyss. Maybe he's looking for the. Oh God, Angorim is getting surrounded. Things are getting tricky for him, but he's managing to stay alive. And is he looking for the chest with the rare mob spawn, or?
That is a typical grab for pretty much everyone here, although the amount of stuff we've seen dropping that some people might be like not even needing it, or if they miss it, not too stressed.
It's so out of the way. I don't think our other players went for it, and this might cost Angormus more than it's going to benefit him. I mean, he does get an extra gem.
Smithing hammer and 2 belts is pretty good for the loot from the chest as well, on top of the extra gem. So, let's see.
Oh, whole new society. Dropping low, getting a little bit greedy. Ooh. He's got a lot of damage, but he still has to manage his HP. With great damage usually comes not so great defense.
Yes, looking at it now, no chest armor, no boots, no boots at all, no belt, just all DPS gear all the way. 2 iron rings, they've got a white helmet on, and then like an amazing rare pair of gloves. They do have all this crafting currency, so
look at Angormus
casting. Ooh,
Angormus's damage is pretty good too.
Yeah,
he's actually doing a pretty nice amount of damage.
Yeah, he just whacked that second smithing hammer on. He's got the dual smithing hammers going, which is, if you can get a decent pair at this point, you could get a really big spike in that auto attack damage. Ooh, rare gloves there too.
All right, huge skip coming up for Whole New Society. Definitely something you guys can incorporate in your play.
Yeah.
He's going to be resetting at checkpoint once he clicks the gate, and that's going to be skipping at about 30-second long animation, so a huge amount of time that our player is going to be saving here. The knowledge and practice definitely coming into play as he is opting to go for a little bit more XP. So interesting. You really need level 14 for the Act 1 boss, especially on Mercenary. On a Warrior, you can kind of skip it. On some caster classes, it doesn't nearly matter as much, but you need that gas grenade on the Mercenary, and I wonder if he's just going for the, I believe, guaranteed regal, or
the support over there
if he's already focusing on managing his XP. Level 8 now.
We've got Bunker on the Huntress in the bottom right, coming on screen for a little bit as well, rotating some of the other top placing players. Bunker consistently been very good on like Huntress and Ranger. I don't know if they've swapped between them a couple times, but on the Huntress this week nonetheless, going for that ambush right now, and going for that crossbow style that we have seen a lot of the Huntresses adopt, so that they can take advantage of that grenade playstyle. Not necessarily as good as the Mercs, but somewhat close, and certainly one of the better ways to compete against your own class there.
Yeah, and we've seen some crazy single target on a Ranger with Lightning Rod last week, so I wonder if that might be something that Bunka's going to be incorporating on the Huntress as well. Whole New Society went for the skip, already fighting the boss.
Love it.
His weapon shouldn't be nearly as good, but I don't think that's what Lachlan is thinking, who is taking a tremendous amount of damage.
Holy, straight into the stun.
What a fight.
Back of so much damage. Having secured some really nice lightning damage on his gear, gets that early shock, just amplifying that damage even more, and just crazy fast kill. He managed to pick up 2 regals on the way to Lachlan as well. It's just like, this guy cannot be stopped right now. so much potential to keep this like gear advantage going. Some nice shopping that from Guy That Dies though, picking up a few nice upgrades there. Both 2 pieces of damage gear from the vendor. Whoa, Whole New Society getting mowed down by some rowers. Absolute cinema right there. Just gets barreled over. Obviously opting for the reset. The correct decision there will cost them a bit of time, but at least not 2.5 minutes for a death. Whoa.
Yeah, in the background, due to that extra abyss that Whole New Society went for, Lightspeed Cake actually was the first person to kill Lackland, which is extra interesting because I believe that is the sorceress that also was the rank 1 winner. We were tracking quite a lot, and again, we are showing our top player, technically, Whole New Society, but we can only in-game spectate one of our players, and with Lightspeed Cake not streaming, we're going to have to keep an eye out on them and how they're doing.
Yeah.
But we're not exactly going to be able to switch anybody out. Sorry, guys, if you're fishing for some caster action. I mean, maybe we're going to be able to do something.
Holy forced to another reset there as I think he just gets slapped on the back and trips over once again, tripping over their own shoes. A little bit of a rough time sprinting through the hunting grounds right now. There are a lot of enemies in here. There's a lot of projectiles flying around. There's rowers charging at you, and you want to be like dodge rolling, sprinting as much as possible. You don't have those movement skills to rely on yet like they do later on with the leap slam. So right now you just have to be kind of threading the needle with those sprints, and it's not easy, right? Look at that. To dodge those leap slams from the monkeys, the charges from rowers just coming off screen at all. It's actually like spicy.
That was smooth though. Yeah, he like animation canceled out of the grenade for the roll, perfectly hitting a back of mobs. I mean, this might look like he's running away, but I think these mobs are trapped in here with him, and he's not trapped in here with them. As he's going for the boss already, Trobel is going to be another, I want to say formidable opponent, but I don't think that's going to be the case for Whole New Society, who's got that tremendous amount of single target. Again, I'm kind of coping on the fact that he technically should be upgrading his weapon soon, and he's not doing that, so he's still using the starting weapon. But man, it's going to be more than enough. Trobel already phasing, but a mercenary, it's kind of hard to hit him in between those phases. On caster classes, you can kind of do that, but with, I believe, 90% damage reduction, it's not that big of a deal. But holy moly, I mean, this is just so ridiculous to watch how much damage Whole New Society is putting out. Trobel poses no threat for a rank 1 gamer so far.
Opting to chip down that health bar even more through the damage mitigation of Trobel in between phases there, which you normally just can't do that much, but there's enough damage going down there for a nice quick final phase here. Oh, Trobel got stuck. He had to help him this way, Trobel. Yeah, boy. And places those grenades after a... So two
uniques.
What? Was it like a shield and a quivers? What on earth?
I mean, the shield might actually make a difference. Even on the mercenary, you do equip a shield at some stages of the game. So I do wonder what he's going to be doing with that. He did vendor it. Okay, there is a pretty good shield with like a lot of resistances and strength that you can get really early on. We've seen some of our players utilize that. I believe even I don't know why every time I'm like, oh yeah, somebody did something last race, I'm thinking of Angormis. I don't think it was Angormis. I mean, there's no way, as you do need armor for your shield on a warrior specifically, because it results in damage. So really important stuff for sure.
Interestingly, used the gold, I think, to gamble an extra iron ring. Managed to pick up another one with an additional 2 to 5 physical damage on there, plus rarity. Just get some even better gear. They've Holy Society already has a sturdy crossbow lined up for level 10 with 53 increased physical damage. So that one, with the extra regals and stuff they have, they could potentially slap a regal on there for a very fast Count Ogum kill. And did manage to pick up some move speed boots in the meantime there too. So kind of rounding things out a little bit. Still only having the white rusted helmet, though. Needs to maybe think about some better head protection at some point, especially with these knockdowns.
Ziggy, I'm craving some caster gameplay. I think we are going to be switching over to Whole New Society, so do keep in mind that, or we're going to be switching over to Lightspeed Cake.
Yeah, let's check them out.
With Whole New Society being at the top of Mercenary, but not quite being in the lead. Yeah, he fell over a little bit.
I don't even know those birds could do damage. Enough to knock you down, apparently. Yeah, so we can get some Lightspeed Cake on and swap over to check them out. As we're saying, as far as people who aren't streaming like Lightspeed Cake and Whole New Society, we can only spectate one of them at a time, but we'll do our best to swap to whoever's in the lead or whoever's the most interesting at the time, which, I mean, Whole New Society's run has been absolutely crazy record potential from this early run here, so we'll have to be keeping a close eye on them in the background too.
Yeah, you might want to keep in mind though that even though Lightspeed Cake is absolutely demolishing right now with this ED contagion approach that we've talked about previously, they were skipping a little bit of content earlier on as we are getting reports in the background. So you should be able to get a lot of XP because you are just so efficient in terms of clearing the abyss. But there are going to be decisions that you're going to be making based on your class that might make your Act 1 slightly slower or slightly faster. But then hopefully in the long run, it will be the decision that determines the speed of your entire run, the Artificer's Orb that's guaranteed from Ogum Village. And for that, we're also going to need the table. So getting stuck a little bit. I don't know.
All right, so here for Lightspeed Cake, you're getting to see the real strength in Act 1 and 2 that Sorks and Witches have with Contagion just being insane for clear speed. It is like, it gives you a several minutes advantage, which is crazy for any skill. Like, usually that's the sort of thing you get from being like a master of zone reads, but it gives some crazy advantages. But not only that, they do have a staff with like spell damage, extra fire damage, +2 fire skills. So those extra fireballs they have there, fire bolts, doing some pretty nice added damage from that one there too. So single target's still not as impressive as the grenades though. Like, let's be clear, we can see that in play right now. It's just kind of making up the shortfall that they have. But the AoE clear is what it comes down to in these early acts. That's it.
Oh my!
Lightspeed Cake managing to thread the needle and just barely get out of there. So many mobs stacked up on it. What? He did not manage his mobs very well there. Looking to get the contagion spread to the boss. It does amplify damage each time it spreads. So if you can get that kind of like spreading onto the boss, you can kind of get a semi-bone shatter style effect on the boss there. But having a little bit of difficulty pulling it off. Still manages to survive though. Very nicely done.
Yeah, and this technically should be the point where ED Contagion is beginning to fall off a little bit, with the Ramparts being a very difficult zone. Mobs suddenly have a lot of HP, and that is not great for this Contagion setup. That being said, though, he's still clearing really nicely, and eventually in terms of single target, even though his single target was pretty good, eventually he's going to be using the Ember Fusillade, which we've seen some crazy burst out of, so I'm really excited to see what's going to happen there. And in the previous race, I think it was Lightspeed Cake who really didn't have a lot of RNG in terms of plus weapons, especially for Act 1 and I believe Act 2. So hopefully that is changing here from what Ziggy mentioned in regards to his gear.
A little bit of updates from the background as well. So we did indeed have Lightspeed Cake enter about a minute ahead into the ramparts. A minute ahead. Society, but within 21 milliseconds of them was another new name, Enzu, who's apparently playing on a mercenary. So we'll have to keep a close eye on that name. I don't believe that's one I've seen before. Enzu on the mercenary. Apparently,
I don't think so.
Absolutely zooming right now in Act 1.
I do remember that name from some gauntlets, I think, in PoE 1, but not super duper prominent. I could totally be making that up as well, but listen, who's going to call me out? Come on. Other than Angorimus, who's called me out several times on saying a bunch of incorrect things.
Rotating his charge on the monk there. Go ahead. Oh, yeah. Executioner down.
Is it down? It is down now.
You're slightly
going for the refresh just so we're nice and synced up. Why not? Meanwhile, Lightspeed Cake going for the gallows. You can actually click the corpse, the hanging corpse there from the bottom. You don't actually have to walk up the stairs. If you're ever been frustrated by the fact that you're surrounded by mobs and you don't really want to be killing them, you can actually click it without walking up the stairs, and that's what Lightspeed Cake goes for, and it will result in him focusing still so much on just clearing and getting all this XP. Even when there's only 1 or 2 mobs on his screen, he's still pumping out those essence drains, being super efficient, not overcasting Contagion, which can really reduce the amount of time in the long run. And he's going to be potentially the first person to enter the manor. Yeah, there we go. Gets the announcement, gets the name in lights.
Enzu might be falling. Oh no, I think what we're seeing here is actually I was wondering if like Enzu's falling behind on XP. That's level 11, but that's where the mercs are sitting typically. Lightspeed Cake's just like the only one on level 13. The rest are at level 11 on the ladder. So it's just like that extra
wow.
XP from the contagion clear is just crazy. Just giving them
Yeah, it makes
a
a big
big advantage in that XP gain early on here that kind of lets them speed through and shores up some of the weaknesses a little bit on the single target side of things.
Yeah, it's a little bit tricky too, because from the looks of it so far, the layouts have been super short. Everybody has the same layouts, so they're going to need to get some really good density. I'm not sure if it makes a huge difference on the caster setup. I can't quite remember if Ember Fusillade is 14. It might be. But with the layouts being so short, especially for a warrior who wants Perfect Strike, I wonder if some of our players are going to be potentially overkilling. We've seen that mistake made by warriors, especially again in the past. But for a mercenary, the gas grenade is really kind of mandatory, as you don't get a great crossbow. There's a level 10 crossbow, but you need quite a lot of RNG to get that one. And really, it's not like a giant upgrade whatsoever. So that gas grenade, with the recent buffs to the mana cost, as in the past, sometimes you ran out of mana. That doesn't happen really anymore. Although we've seen mana definitely come into play in our previous races. So I wonder what that's going to be happening there. And then also for the future, it was really exciting to see that Energy Shield was making a big difference for our caster players in the past. We kind of thought that armor is going to be the thing that's going to be dominating. But Energy Shield still doing pretty good, even in these early stages of the game, early as in priority maps.
With how close this is going to be, I'm going to say that what we should do is probably spectate Lightspeed Cake's Ogham fight here and then get ready to really quickly swap over, production hint, over to Whole New Society as soon as possible. So like right as that kill goes down if we can, or I don't know, because I could see Whole New Society killing faster in the background. So I don't know if we want to like swap halfway or something.
We're already on the boss with Lightspeed Cake.
Yeah, so Whole New Society was only about 30 seconds behind. So that means they'll be entering the fight basically right as this begins after this little delay here. So,
there's the Ember Fusillade. Okay, I think it is level 14. So let's see the burst here. So you're going to be able to one-phase it? Okay. Pretty much.
That is some big damage there after that first charge up. And there's plenty of opportunity to build up another one for the second phase. He has to wait through a few attacks. That was some juicy Ember Fusillade.
Oh man, he's got a 22 extra fire damage, 45 spell damage, plus 2 to fire spells weapon.
Ideal.
Holy, I mean, that's a ton.
Yeah, it doesn't help with the contagion much, but for this, yeah. Oh my god. Charging, ready. Here we go. Oh my god. Okay, get ready to swap to Whole New Society because it's going to be coming up any second now. That is insane. Oh my lord. Okay, I'm swapping over to Whole New Society. Let's get over there as quick as we can. It's just as they're starting the fight. I just swapped over just to catch the start of the fight. They're just killing the ads now. And I believe good stuff production. Having to type in the name manually. Good work, team. They're doing an amazing job in the background. You folks rock.
I actually have to scroll for that.
I'm not making it easy for them. I love the typing of the name live. Yes, okay, here we go. Pulling them against the wall. That is ideal for the damage here. We haven't actually seen that as much, but taking advantage of getting Geonor against the wall so that those grenades all stack up and get right on top of them there. It's like pretty close to the Ember Fusillade. A bit harder to pull off, though, I will say. We'll see how it goes with the second phase here coming up. But this is a swap to a new sturdy crossbow with 1 to 25 lightning damage, so not bad. Gear is not quite as crazy as it was. A bit more well-rounded now, we're seeing. Though still not a huge defensive boost.
Yeah, and in the meanwhile, Angormus also beginning his warrior fight. I do believe he was able to get level 14, so the perfect strike comes out, the big ignite with that singular massive hit. But man, despite that, I gotta say, the damage is not looking nearly as good. There you go. An even bigger ignite is going to result in Geonor phasing over. This Whole New Society. Man, players have... Oh, he's going to get a poetry phase.
Yeah, we didn't even see poetry phase from Lightspeed, did we? The rare poetry skip. Crazy, actually, to think about. You almost never see a full skip like that.
Yeah, that's gonna make a really big difference. As Lightspeed Cake is a witch or a sorceress? I can't even remember. The setup is
sorceress.
the same. Okay, yeah, so it's a sorceress.
I'm going to get ready to swap back over to Lightspeed Cake after Whole New Society finishes their kill here. We'll make sure that the rest of the fight goes smoothly for them.
We've got another player. Ziggy, you're going to like this one. A player who you've been super vindicated on. And let me pronounce their name correctly. Because you got to put some respect on that name. It is Screws.
That's right. It's Screws.
Listen,
Screws
apparently
told me yesterday. He's like, Ziggy, by the way, you're the one who's been pronouncing my name right. None of this X-Cruise business. Like, what? X-Ruse? What sort of name is that? Oh, I feel so vindicated right now. Yes. So Screws. Well, Ziggy is the second to kill GNR.
His character name is X-Ruse, as in Screws. That is his character name. He's setting the record straight. I'm shocked.
Yes.
This is ridiculous.
Amazing. I'm going to spectate them right now and see how they're going. So good.
Can I just say they're pronouncing their own name incorrectly? Listen, I mean, technically, I'm doing the same thing with my name, so I don't know.
Oh my god, this sturdy crossbow from Screws right now is 7 to 11 physical, 3 to 5 cold, 1 to 24 lightning, and +2 to projectile skills. Like, what? This will carry them until a bombard. This thing is nasty.
Yeah. That is ridiculous.
Oh man, like a double damage life gain on hit. Pair of gloves as well. Crazy.
That's gonna make a big difference, especially those early sources of life gain, of mana gain, of leech. Even leech not being super big at this stage of the game, but still making quite a big of a difference. And it does tend to appear on pieces that you can switch out early and you can keep for later on, and eventually it will make huge difference in survivability and sustain, and all of these sort of things that our players are needing to worry about as Angormus approaches his Wrathbreaker now. How is this fight going to go for it? I gotta say, it's really interesting. Angormus killed Geonor 4th, but he's, I believe, the first one to get to Wrathbreaker. Potentially with Lightspeed Cake still somewhere in there. Man, a lot of AoE. It's resulting in big shotguns. Angormus with a clean Wrathbreaker kill.
Very nice. Very nice. Yeah, we're seeing from me simultaneously spectating Screws, who's in second at the moment. Yeah, it's a little tough to call who's in second at this point exactly, but roughly second compared to Lightspeed Cake right now, who is definitely in first in a good chunk of the way into the mines.
I'm sweeping over. I got to see some caster action. I'm a big caster fan. It's so cool to see that casters are still super good in these early stages of the game.
Oh, okay. And yeah, we're getting the times now for the Wrathbreaker kills, actually. So that does put Angormus in second. So we've got Lightspeed Cake killing at 8:34:22. That's the time of day. Okay. That makes sense. And
let's go, Ziggy.
8-hour kill for Wrathbreaker. What?
Holy!
New Zealand time as well, just to make it extra confusing for me. All right, let me translate this for you. 34 minutes and 22 seconds compared to Angormus's 36 minutes and 29 seconds, putting them at second. And then I believe who is after that? Looks like Screws will be probably third, having just gotten that kill, going into the Adura caravan now. It's all right. That was entertaining.
Yeah, I wonder how much damage we're still going to be able to see on the upcoming boss, on this sorceress from Lightspeed Cake. It is still a fair ways away, as he's only now entering the Maldu mine, but there's a little bit of fire resistance going on there. And I wonder if that's going to make a difference. But I gotta say, the output is just so crazy. And it's really sick to see that Essence Drain is really still holding up despite everything.
I think on the casters, they can keep it rolling pretty well. I imagine it might fall off for the Silk at some point.
Wait, what am I seeing? Am I looking at
What are you
Lightspeed
saying?
Cake currently using a crossbow?
Yes. Yes, you are. Oh, and maybe also dying. I think they got the reset. I don't think they died. Let me check. Oh, yeah, no, they're moving. They're okay. That was close call, though. Did get nastily surrounded there in the mines. Did manage to get a reset just barely.
Is this correct? No, it can't be. There's no way.
They are
I
wearing
think
a
we're having an
crossbow.
issue.
Yes.
No.
Wait.
Ziggy, it's gotta be an issue. Oh no.
Surely.
Because he's not even weapon swapping.
Is it +2?
I mean,
+2 of all projectile skills rise.
Oh, the projectile skills for the essence drain.
Yeah.
But then why wouldn't he de-equipped the staff though? Why would he have it de-equipped instead of having it be weapon swapped?
Because he's got a shield on the weapon swap. I don't know. Yeah, why? Is this another reset? That was another reset.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, okay.
Interesting.
That is pretty wild. I mean, that's really good, just kind of like looking out for opportunities, right? Because that's not going to come up all the time.
Yeah, I guess he's trying to use the shield charge from the shield to give himself a little bit of a speed boost. But I mean, with the sprint and...
Yeah. Oh, no, wait.
It's not really...
Shield. Hold on. Let me check their skills.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it is. Shield. They don't actually have shield charge. Like, they long term probably leap slam shield. So I guess just opting to... If they don't need the fist slide right now, then maybe just go for a manual swap then for that for single target damage.
It could be also that, like... It's like inventory management, right? Because the staff is smaller than a shield. So this is just a little bit of min-maxing from them.
Maybe. I love it.
I mean, that would be my guess because, his inventory is clean. There is nothing in it. The currency is perfectly managed. I think it's even color coded, It's crazy how much effort our players are putting in to handle their inventory.
It's on top when labeling certain puts. Yes.
He's got folders and everything.
Yeah. I love how I can spend like the entire week studying all these different like races and their tactics and stuff. And you'll be surprised each actual race too, like with this crossbow action here. So yeah, there's the swap to the staff, manual weapon swap tech, just like the olden days, getting ready for that Ember Fusillade. Let's see how it goes. Ruja taking a big chunk, not as big as I was hoping, maybe go down to half. There we go, it's a little better. Pretty juicy as I get in that Orb of Storms. Should give them a... Nice. Oh, I didn't even have to deal with the melee weapon. Oh, so juicy. It looks so brutal. Very nice.
3-shot. Kind of 3-shot.
Yeah. Well, yes. 3 barrage.
Technically 21-shot, but listen, we're...
Something like that, yeah.
We're not counting.
Yeah, I mean, skipping the melee phase, not having to worry about that at all is wild. Because that's... we've seen that kill players, certainly.
Yeah, that's definitely a big deal. Angormus already in the Mountain Mine. Guy that dies still struggling a little bit in the quarry. Sarge in the background, having done with his Geonor fight, trying to represent the monk. Not quite keeping up, but still doing pretty good. I want to see another fight from Angormus.
We got to see live crafting POV from Guy That Dies there, crafting themselves a very nice crossbow with some added weapon elemental damage and added flight damage and all that jazz, chucking the extra sockets and the quality on there. Basically looking to craft this crossbow up as much as possible to hold over until the mob bards. Typically we'll see mercs hoarding as much currency as they can to do a big bombard crossbow crafting spree at this point if they can get themselves a good crossbow around this point in Act 2. And that looks to be pretty well set for Guy That Dies unless they get a lucky extra rare drop or something. That should carry them over reasonably well.
Here we go, Angormus setting up his big perfect strike, and it will in fact be perfect as it lands.
Nice.
But I wonder if he's going to be able... I mean, he's not going to have a whole lot of stun.
There we go. Yep. Okay. There was just a kind of a tiny one there. There we go. That should be the stun. Yeah, nice. The bone shatter to finish the stun. Look at him. Look how far away he is standing there because he knows that Ruja kind of stands back up forwards and still landing the perfect strike. That would definitely trip up a lot of less experienced players. But Angormus has had so much perfect strike practice, knows exactly where to stand. It's like, you're definitely out of range, but nope. 100% calculated.
I am watching Lightspeed Cake, and I can guarantee the inventory management that we talked about is the reason why they're doing this. It is crazy the amount of optimization that this player is putting in. It is so nuts. The fact that he went for a crossbow, he was able to think that up on the spot. Man, I am just so thoroughly impressed with Lightspeed Cake so far.
Yeah,
And
it's
I wonder...
phenomenal to see. Imagine, right? I'm starting to get a little bit excited because imagine if we see a sorceress competing Act 4 neck and neck with the mercenaries. That would be just such a treat.
The big thing that we've seen on the sorceress is that in Act 1 it's great. In Act 2 it's pretty good. In Act 3 we're getting to the point where you need a pretty substantial amount of gear to be able to stay alive, and that's
staying alive
typically where our casters that's where our casters fall off in the previous races. They just repeatedly die, especially in zones like waterways. So you can already see that shield
here, though. Like, I will say, all of our mercenaries have died multiple times each race. So, like, as much as that's a problem for the Sork, pretty sure every merc had 2 deaths last race. So, look, if they can manage that or better, then they might have a fighting chance in those later acts. But certainly Merc does have a safer go of it, and then worry even safer than that in the later acts when they're just blasting as fast as possible.
Lightspeed. Okay, I just really, if you guys are a caster and you're a complainer and you're like caster wow, look at the amount of optimization that this player puts in. He even pre-stacks the fusillade when clearing while waiting for the animation of the gates opening. It is just so clean. This is such an incredible, kind of flawless run, and it's rare to say that because in PoE speedrunning, you can never play perfectly. There are just too many factors. But you're always trying to play as good as you possibly can. And I gotta say, I'm just not seeing a whole lot of mistakes from Lightspeed Cake. I can see some players missing, some players fumbling on the pickup. Prior to the race, we were watching Angormis, and he was practicing his cursor precision by playing a little bit of Counter-Strike aim practice.
Classic.
And Lightspeed Cake must have played a lot of Counter-Strike because this player is just not missing.
Maybe an Osu player, yep. Very nice. We see a quick reset there from Lightspeed Cake and heading the other direction. And a bit of an update on the timings and positions currently. So, Whole New Society and Screws were 5 seconds. Oh, wait, a more recent one is that Lightspeed Cake obviously was the first with that Ruder kill that we saw that was phenomenally fast, with Screws being second 2 minutes behind. So that's a pretty big lead time for the Sork right now. And then Angormis about 2 seconds after Screws, so very close between Screws and Angormis right now. And then Whole New Society in 4th at the moment, about 15 seconds after Angormis. So still pretty close there for Whole New Society after that phenomenal Act 1 that we saw, but a really nice lead right now from Lightspeed Cake.
Yeah, for sure. That's making such a big difference. You're already hopefully close to Jamanra, I think. Yeah, this is the last gate from the looks of it. Angormis now beginning his Halani gates. Guy that dies.
Going a little
the
low
Traitor's
there.
Passage.
Lightspeed Cake just riding that flask a little hard to get off that. It was one of the anti-healing rares. It's kind of not letting them recover. Classic. Gets me.
And I gotta say, it might look like we were a little bit stunned by this, shocked even. But it might look like Lightspeed Cake. Oh my goodness, he's just not able to. Yeah, he was. That was the first mistake that I've seen. So he was casting his Ember Fusillade too early, and it was resetting the cast on the delay. I mean, once he gets it off, it's just so much freaking damage. Holy!
That's the fight done. That's Jamanra done. I'll see you in part 2, bud.
Yeah, but what I was talking about, it might look like Lightspeed Cake is not using his points, and he's just kind of forgetting about them. But it's actually tactical. There isn't a whole lot that he can benefit from at this stage of the game in regards to the points. So he's just not spending the time to spend them. And later on, I think when he gets 6 or 7, he spends them all at the same time. So
yeah, we saw this before. It caught us by surprise, didn't it?
Yeah, that was so much. I mean, it's another example of a huge amount of optimization, but it might work against you as well, right? That mistake that I was just talking about in regards to Ember Fusillade, when somebody's this much of a perfectionist when it comes to speedrunning, that can tilt you. I've definitely seen players who just get mad at themselves after they've made a mistake. So that could be happening. I remember at ExileCon 1, I believe, Pi 23
Oh no.
struggled to pick up a transmute for literally like one click. And later on in an interview, he said that was an extremely difficult moment for him. And it tilted him for like the rest of that zone. So
that's a great example, but I also love like this like tiny little thing that annoyed so much, and you're like, I'm never gonna let you forget it.
Yeah.
Bring it up now, many years later. Amazing. Tie 23. Will we ever see them again? Are they Jose? I have been hearing like rumblings about Jose practicing in the background, maybe making subtle appearances, playing on different accounts. The myth, the legend is very pervasive, cannot be escaped.
Absolutely. We've got the Abyss happening right now for Lightspeed Cake. And yeah, the Essence Drain still proving to be so effective with that crossbow. Man, I just can't get over it. We tend to kind of focus on the macro side of things. But with Lightspeed Cake, the micro stuff you still have to focus on. And I think this is the Abyss that guarantees a unique drop. And he doesn't finish it. There's a massive rare mob. He actually skips it. Says that he doesn't have enough single target.
We give you a bit of a gear update on on Lightspeed Cake here as they weave their way through some Valley of the Titans action. We do have that sturdy crossbow with like all of these lines of text just to say +2 projectile skills. Again, super unusual. They do have that +2 fire, but that obviously doesn't affect the clear speed for the contagion essence drain, whereas that essence drain is getting affected by the crossbow there. On the rest of it, we do have man, if they were a mercenary right now, they'd be pretty happy. They got some good mercenary gear. It's a nice flat damage and rings and stuff. None of this helping them as a spellcaster, but a good amount of resistances at least. Some basic move speed boosts. Honestly, it's pretty lean. Apart from getting that like +2, they've been really taking advantage of. It's pretty lean in the end. Let's see.
Yeah, Geomandra for Angormus. He's already done with it. Pretty smooth fight.
Smooth.
Geomandra for Guy that dies as well. Not smooth. I mean, smooth in terms of gameplay, but the single target, little bit lackluster, I gotta say. I don't want to be a hater, but with Mercenary being the top dog in terms of single target, this isn't looking quite as spicy as some of our other players.
Now, there's been some changes to Act 2 routing approach in for different players now, particularly important for the warriors. So if they do Mastodon Bone Pits before Keth, it guarantees that the skill gem drop from Kabbalah, the Snake Lady, is level 7 instead of level 6. And that gives warriors shield wall and the ability to get leap slam, because that's 2 guaranteed level 7s. So like this little routing change is like all of a sudden just like a light bulb moment for them. They're like, oh, we can actually get leap slam and shield slam at the same time, like really early on. So that's a really big deal for them. It also makes XP a bit easier to manage for them too. So like the Keth side is easier to get some extra XP as needed. And that kind of improves this Act 2 progression sequence overall, where you're kind of going from like bad XP zone to good XP zone to bad XP zone to good XP zone, giving you some nice alternations there to kind of like smooth out your XP curve a little bit there. So it's an interesting like kind of late optimization that came here into race 3.
That's crazy to think, because we've mentioned in the past how the random level 7 drops for some of our players, it was just such a big deal to get that early leap slam.
And being such a factor now, because they can guarantee that.
Man, anytime you think something's RNG, turns out it's a skill issue. Story of my life.
True. We do like to blame RNG, don't we?
Yep.
I'd be curious to see if the Mercs are taking advantage of that now. Given the early Keth here, I'm guessing that'll be a level 6 gem drop for guy that dies. Yeah, so I think all the Mercs are going this Keth side first as usual. So there's that level 6 skill gem, which we do. Well, we'll see what Angormus ends up doing. But from the looks of things, Lightspeed Cake going for the Boneyard side as well. I don't know if the level 7 is also important for them or if this is just a personal choice, because we have also seen people kind of just do it like in a personal preference sort of manner too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. For sure. Especially that's going to be a lot of skill expression for our players in Act 4. We've seen them adjust their routing, but it's showing in Act 2 as well. Lightspeed Cake fighting another Abyss, another massive rare, so I don't think they're gonna be finishing it. Although, maybe? Nah.
Maybe.
Yeah, the rares, even with the single target, the rare mobs are truly the bosses of Path of Exile. Just can't mess with them. Runs into a dead end, has to run back. 6 skill points on the bar. He's
Still
waiting.
Those, yeah. Waiting for that 7th one. That's the break point, I think, before you get like a relevant passive, or have like a time where you kind of have to wait for some lore or something.
Start fighting Rugia. Let's see how a monk deals with this boss in particular.
A monk warrior, a warrior monk, a Moria, something like that, with the perfect strikes. That's good. Good. 2 perfect strikes right off the bat there, going to a 3rd one. Let's see how they handle the stun. It's going to be 6 perfect strikes, maybe. There we go. They're positioned pretty well. That should land. Nice. That's clean. I like the rolling slam to finish him. Very stylistic. Nicely done from Sarge there. No melee phase to deal with.
I was thinking about a show to watch, and your description of Sarge's character, Ziggy, reminds me of Xena the Warrior Princess. You know what?
Nice. Sick. Yeah,
that's a throwback. I might go for that.
Feeling inspired for some Xena action. It's been a while.
Hell yeah. It's been a while. Oh, yeah. Half of chat not even knowing what that is. Guys, I'm 12.
It's definitely been a while. Oh, my God. Feeling very mid-30s right now. Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Guy that dies. It's actually hurting. I'm standing up. Thanks for reminding me.
Me too, buddy. Me too. How's your back chat? PoE players in general feels very mid-30s right now. Excellent.
We get that Abyss from Guy That Dies with the guaranteed 4 link in the Lost City. Oh, wait, no, this is Lost City. I think it's in the next zone for the guaranteed 4 link. So interesting that he actually still goes for the Abyss. Is it? Which zone is it? It's the zone with the resistance ring.
Oh, yeah.
I can never remember.
I think so.
Yeah. He's fighting the Scarab. Interesting. The Scarab is really putting up a fight. The other guy's spending a lot of time.
It's
kind of loot. Oh my god. Takes forever to drop. Gets a ruby. Ooh, elemental damage. So if he happens to pick up a jewel on the way to somewhere, and he is, I believe, on the way to the grenades, which means that he should be picking up a jewel somewhere. Actually, is he? I can't even remember.
We did see Lightspeed Cake go for that Kabbalah 2nd level 7 gem strategy as well. So they got level 7 gems sitting in their inventory now. I'll pay attention to what they spend that on, because it could literally just be leveling up a spell, like getting Essence Drain up another level or something, maybe, or Frost Bomb to affect mobs or something. But we'll see if it's anything kind of unusual.
Grotto 4 and Gormus, a tricky layout. Players kind of struggled with this zone a lot. Then a lot of them said that it's figured out now. We know exactly where to go. And now it seems like it's not figured out, and people are still struggling. I wonder if he is going to be able to find the way. Running into a couple dead ends already. Mostly sticking to the wall, which in speedrunning terms kind of showcases that you don't fully know what you're doing whenever you see a player sticking to a particular wall.
That's my strategy every zone.
I mean, hey, that's the way to do it. If you don't know what you're doing, just stick to a wall, okay?
It's the can I have the bumpers up in bowling, please strategy.
Yerp.
There's my strategy. 100% of zones. That's it.
Today is relatable cast, everybody. We're just so relatable. We're sticking to walls. We don't know where we're going. We don't know what we're doing. That being said,
where am I?
Bunka. Bunka on the Huntress with a pretty decent amount of single target and opting to go for the grenades. So no bow action so far, though. We're probably going to be seeing some ranger action in the future. And I mean, we have seen rangers go for the crossbow
really
approach
good
as
later
well.
on. Oh, we saw the lightning rods last week as well, which really surprised us with just how much damage they were putting out on Tavakai. So the late game from the Rangers with the bows was actually pretty solid, but they do struggle a little bit earlier on, I think.
And the big downside is that you need a lot of levels. I think the kills that we've seen were on characters that were level 36, 38, even in some scenarios, and that's just not something that a player on a lot of these more competitive classes can afford to go for. Mostly we're going to be seeing level 31, level 33, depending on the sort of class that we're playing. And yeah, Act 4, when you're 20 levels below the zone, is a little bit of a struggle. So a lot of rips happening there. But I got to say, so far, got the dice fighting the Buried Shrine already. So ahead of Lightspeed Cake. Interesting. Are they pulling through, or is there...
The routing for Act 2 has been super unusual here. We're seeing players like kind of break down the zones in little segments, and this is some stuff we saw in Season 2 where people would do like cherry pick bits of zones, and it's kind of like a Path of Exile 1 Act 2 strategy where you do a little bit of one side, a little bit of another, and swap back and forth. I think we've been seeing a bit of that. It makes it actually like really hard to track who's actually kind of in the lead here. But I don't think Lightspeed Cake has really slowed down too much yet, so we're probably still seeing them maintain overall. But we'll see once we get to see.
Oh, Lightspeed Cake struggling. He almost stayed in. His character was almost up. Yeah, that greed can get you. And speaking of, Angormus incorporating the armpit strategy, but he's actually misses a perfect strike. He's got the ads up now as he's fighting the Colossus. Oh man, these ads are so scary. He manages to get past them. It's a big hit, but not big enough for an ignite on Zamorath, the Colossus. There you go. Finally manages to get it.
Nice.
Clean fight from Angormus. A lot of loot too. Wow, and a Bloodstone Amulet. That might make a big difference. Amulets are pretty important to the point where we didn't mention this previously, but there is a zone in Keth, I think, where there's a little side area and you get a guaranteed amulet, and you can get plus to your abilities from it. So an amulet can make a pretty big difference. Angormus keeps his amulet. I think it's got a rarity.
Oh yeah, nice. Actually makes an appreciable difference in this game in these early stages as well. It affects the currency drops and everything, right? So it's a juicy one. I'm checking in on Whole New Society in the background on the Merc here, just to kind of get a bit of a gauge of where they're at. And gear is polished up reasonably nicely with some nice 15% movement speed boots as well. Doing a little bit of town shopping. They just picked up the Ruby, so they just kind of finished that side of the quests. But we're seeing players kind of do things in a bit of different order.
Yeah, it's interesting. In PoE 1, Act 2 was also an act where you used to see a lot of variety, but then eventually people kind of... Well, I mean, the game changed overall, and players required a lot less gear. People took a lot more risks. Everybody got a lot better at the game. But there eventually was like an objectively best approach to clearing Act 2. And it's interesting to see that that was kind of the thought process for Act 2 and PoE 2. But now players are thinking, you know what, I have to adjust, I have to change, depending on the sort of RNG, depending on the sort of items. What I need in the moment is going to determine what I'm going to be doing. And that's just such a cool thing that influences, especially races such as these ones, as I've got another Abyss with a juicy Essence Drain. I can't stop mentioning it. It is just so satisfying. As it chains through everything. And yeah, this is going to be the guaranteed 4-link. So if you're somebody who knows about the guaranteed 4-link in Act 3, this is another one that you can get. And it's significantly earlier in the game, and obviously you can still get the one in Act 3, and most of our players are going to be opting to go for it, as 2 4-links is better than 1. Boom. There's a little bit of racing knowledge for you guys right there. And this is taking forever.
So I'd say Screws is in the lead right now, as they're the first player to have 2 of the MacGuffins here. So they are heading back into Valley of Titans now, but they haven't done this kind of like pre-clear of it as well, I guess. They're going for their unique from the Abyss right now. I'll tell you what they get.
Guided Dice in the top right. Having a nice stack, being super patient as the bosses He waits for the bosses to get together. Not quite able to get enough damage on Egbar, but he's going to be going down now. Pretty smooth, pretty clean, and a lot more damage coming out from Guy That Dies. As Lightspeed Cake fighting the big baby now. Let's see, doing a little bit of point manage. Oh, he's spending his skill points. You can see them going down.
Whoa,
there you go.
Doing it.
Nice.
In the background, Screws picked up an Igniferous Crimson Amulet. I like it. They're not using it, even though I feel like they should be. It's got increased light radius, the best stat in the game. It increases the detection radius of exits on your mini-map. Light radius, 100%. Why is he not equipping the Igniferous? The current amulet has like fire res, but Igniferous also has fire res. Maybe he needs that strength, actually. Probably needs the strength, come to think of it. That is an issue for the mercs. They need to balance out that strength and dexterity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. Man, this single target boss fight so far is a little bit of a struggle for Lightspeed Cake. And Angormus also struggling on an Abyss. Big rare monster. And Angormus, man fighting it. Oh man. Dread Stalker. Not getting stunned on Angormus. Getting low. This is super sketchy. 494 life. Angormus managing his resources perfectly. But man, this rare monster. Is this really worth it? Holy, that takes up so much time.
Screws is doing their Titan Grotto run now. They are part of the way towards the boss. But really, it's so hard to call who's actually in the lead now between like them and Lightspeed Cake as well.
We're sticking to Lightspeed Cake for the caster POV, just so you guys have a good spread in terms of different classes, but there is big likeliness. Yeah, there's big likeliness they're going to be switching over to somebody else for Act 3. That being said, I mean, Lightspeed Cake could still potentially be in the lead. Sorceress is not a class that ascends compared to, I think, the only class actually that ascends, which is a witch. So another caster, but with a difference in approach. 154 energy, 155, sorry. I mean, the one energy shield, super important for Lightspeed Cake. And only 326 life, so not even really making up the difference compared to something like a warrior. But actually, I mean, the Guy That Dies also has 483 life, so almost as much as the warrior. So I wonder, obviously, you're not quite able to pick up nearly as many strength nodes as you do need a bunch of dexterity, both for the accuracy and also for just being able to utilize your weapon. Everybody is using armor, as armor is a super strong defensive mechanic, and you especially need it for like Act 3 waterways and all these sort of things. We mentioned how stun threshold can be pretty important, but a big deal already is preparing for resistances. Resistances are super important in general in PoE, but having a bunch of different sets of gear, and depending on the boss that you're going to be fighting, especially in Act 4, you're going to be swapping over 2 different sets of gear. And that might also, speaking of routing, that might also determine a little bit of the route from some of our players to minimize the amount of gear management that they have to go through and swapping to different sets of gear. But we're not quite there yet.
Still starting their boss fight in Titan Grotto now. They're just beginning, so they just kind of maybe peeked ahead a little of Lightspeed Cake there. They've also got so much currency in their inventory. They've got an extra Jewel's Orb. Very nice. But I don't know if there will be even time to swap over for the Zalmarath, the Colossus kill and Screws, but if not, I'll keep you updated as you guys keep an eye on Lightspeed Cake. But they are halfway through. The grenades are looking very solid. They managed to pick themselves up a decent Varnish crossbow and getting well situated. It's better than a decent crossbow. It's actually one of the best Varnish crossbows I've ever seen. Oh my god. They're putting out some serious damage. That's Zalmarath is done in the background for Screws. So they take that down and they grab themselves the Flame Ruby.
Yeah, Lightspeed Cake having a little bit of a different approach. He knows how effective he is on the Abysses, so he's actually sticking around and getting a bit more XP here. Again, it might seem like Screws is ahead in terms of progression, but XP is a little bit of the bottleneck for Act 2, as some of our players stick around until level 28 and sometimes even longer, farming the Vanguard, the Dreadnought. And I wonder if this XP difference is going to come into play. That being said, though, apparently Screws is rank 1 in XP.
Yeah, we just saw the from Screws in the background with the horn. So that does officially put them in the lead. The first player to Dadu at the front of the caravan is the one in the lead. So that is our first official checkpoint to know that they are ahead. So Screws takes the lead there off of Lightspeed Cake, despite their insane Act 1 and 2. But Screws has been there that whole time.
That's crazy. Yeah, okay. I mean, this might be the point where, I was kind of thinking that Act 3 is when the caster is going to start to fall off, especially with the previously mentioned survivability issues. That being said, though, I mean, come on. I'm rooting for Lightspeed Cake here.
Yeah, I want to see some insane Sork action in Act 3 and 4.
I mean, it is also... I like how in the past, when we had a 1-minute death penalty, we would see players die all the time. Nobody's died that we've seen so far. I mean, Act 4 and sometimes Act 3 are the sketchy parts of the game. But I mean, it's not like Act 1 is easy. It's a pretty hard act if you're trying to get through it. And that's where we used to see the majority of the rips before Act 4 was in the game. To see that nobody's dying at all and players are respecting the 2.5-minute penalty, man.
It's definitely enough to matter. Whereas when it was a 1-minute death penalty, many players were like, it's worth kind of like pushing really lean and taking those deaths because like it almost didn't matter sometimes if you could be faster overall. But I wonder if there's like a nice breakpoint somewhere in the middle there. But I've been liking to see what they've been doing with 2.5. Like you said, they've really had to respect that death penalty there, as it is fairly notable. But yeah, I mean, we still see people die. We saw like 2 deaths from the winners, I think, last 2 races. So yeah, it still gets pretty spicy, especially in that very dangerous Act 4 Tavakai fight and the fights leading up to it there.
Lightspeed Cake only now fighting their Colossus.
Let's see how
I mean, I can give you guys a breakdown in the amount of Ember Fusillades it's acquiring. I think it's going to be about 6. So it's not that fast, as the delay is pretty massive. Although it is comparable to kind of the cooldown that you have on grenades. So
yeah, it's pretty similar to what I'm seeing on delay here. Is pretty similar to what I saw from Screws firsthand here.
Mm-hmm.
With Screws having a very good weapon, though.
Right, yeah.
Ember Fusillade, I think definitely is the winner overall. Like, I think it's a bit stronger, but probably maybe a little bit slower on the cooldown than what you can achieve with the grenades later on with Gas Grenade.
Yeah, I think also just you're having to play so much more defensively as a caster. I can see Lightspeed Cake really having to stick around for the boss fight just because he's not quite able to deal with the ads, the Essence Drain falling off. Man, on Gormys, it's crazy to see how much Warrior is beginning to fall behind. Obviously, you have to spend a little bit of time on swapping over to shields, which Gormys has already done. Oh, and he's in a particularly nasty corridor. He's not quite able to hit the enemies with his shield slam. Man, that was this is taking up a lot of time, and Gormys really struggling, even with just a pack. I mean, this is not even the Abyss. It's just a pack from a strong box. If I imagine to take it down, the strong box is pretty good. His inventory management, not quite as perfect as we're used to seeing. I think nice movement speed boots, but only 10%. Maybe he's got 15s. Not quite sure yet. Oh man, I just realized what's happening. Lightspeed Cake still has to do the Mastodon fight, or the whatever it's called.
They divided up the zones so strangely as well. I think we probably should swap over to Screws at this point, as they have the XP, and currently halfway through, I want to say, of the Path of Mourning. So they are on their way. They are zooming right now. Definitely solidly taking the lead at this point. We'll keep an eye on the background of Lightspeed Cake, because they have had a phenomenal race thus far, and I'd love to see them make a decent showing in Act 3 and 4, if possible. Right now, Screws is the name to beat, though. Regan Screws out on screen, top left. After taking the lead here, they head into the Spires of Dashar. A dangerous zone, to be sure. One with a decent chunk of XP for them, though, if they can manage to safely take advantage of it. And safety does seem to be the name of the game there, as we do see them backing up from a particularly badly positioned pack on the staircase there. And the Sisters of Garakan even for the bonus lightning resistance certainly makes things a bit more dangerous as all those extra statues come down off the walls to participate in the fight, making things a little bit extra dangerous. Just to punish that greediness of, wanting a permanent buff like resistances. How dare you? Ooh,
How dare you? And lightning resistance is a big deal, not just for the Act 2 boss, but several bosses in Act 3 and Act 4. But interesting, I can see the Leap Slam on Screw's bars. He hasn't quite used it yet, which either indicates an incredibly good layout or an incredibly good layout read that results in him just not having to use it. And yes, super optimal play from Screw so far. Really not overkilling, always making sure that whenever there are like 2, 3, maybe 4 mobs that are low, but not quite enough large pack, he's actually going to be skipping it. And yeah, that's exactly what's happening there. As he's already up to Torgul, our favorite target dummy.
Yeah, you really want to be over level 26, 26 and a half-ish here, which is, well, they're just shy of that. So they're spending the extra time killing as they proceed through this zone probably made a lot of sense. And a little bit of inventory management as you wait for the big fella to come on out of his slumber and then get ready with some grenades. Nice thing for the mercs here is that they can just whack the grenades in the middle. They don't fall down the hole, unlike the Titan, the Colossus from the earlier zones, allowing for some very nice, juicy grenade damage, which we're getting to see here. Just a nice, constant rolling explosion. Gently does
a lot of different debuffs, even a little bit of poison, good uptime on the 20% shock. Obviously, Frostbomb being super important. The ignites meaningful still, despite being a grenade user. And he's going to be the first person to take down the boss.
Absolutely.
Nicely done by Screws. Man, I'm so happy that we got that name figured out. Let's go.
I mean...
Oh, sorry, I figured it out.
Yeah, you figured it out.
You had it figured out all along, yes.
So vindicated right now. Excellent.
I'm mad.
Mad indeed. Very nice stuff for Screws. The guy that dies just starting their Spires of Dashar, so that gives you a pretty good indication of the difference here. That's a solid 2-minute lead, roughly. I dare say, maybe even a little bit more. Guy that dies should be trailing in second, as to my knowledge. We'll check with the crew in the background. They can give us an update.
First person to enter the Dreadnought. Hard zone. Difficult to get through this zone quickly.
Very scary.
Man, I think is he already level 27? I really...
not quite, but he'll get it pretty quickly here. Yeah, this is basically where you polish up that last little bit of XP to hit 27, which is, you really want to be 27 for this boss, and he'll be easily doing that. He's only in the first half of the zone, and he's almost there. Nice champion pack there. We'll accelerate that, but as long as there's no little deaths there, bonus support gems are a big deal for the mercs. They really, really cannot get enough of them. So there've been quite a few random drops here, which is really helpful for them. Got 2 banked in the inventory, so flush with supports right now. Oh, and that's off the back of an extra Jeweler's Orb too. They actually have three sockets on both explosive and gas grenade. You get the guaranteed one on gas grenade from the earlier drop, but having 2 guaranteed ones, 2 at this point is pretty nutty. Certainly earlier than you would expect.
That's definitely crazy.
Yeah, that allows for a magnified effect on gas grenade to boost things along right now. And, potentially chucking... Well, he's actually got short fuse on explosive grenade. I like that. And not something I had seen as much too, with that extra gem socket, taking advantage of that and still being able to run elemental armament too for big damage. And of course, multi-shot gets put on everything. Because why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Grenades equal good.
Multi-shot kind of OP. Even with all the nerfs, it's still so strong. I think it was getting nerfed like every patch. It's so powerful. Goes for the essence. Gets the essence. Essence of the infinite. And the first Vanguard, the Dreadnought zone, is done. Going for the next one. Doing a little bit of inventory management first.
There's a long load screen there getting wailed on. Yeah, I know that feeling.
Yep.
I have the same thing. Monsters attacking you. Wait for that load screen to come up. Yep. Swapping over to a multi-shot 2 there, thanks to the extra support gems. Gets to upgrade both of those. So we've got a multi-shot 2 on gas and on explosive grenade now for that nice chunk of extra damage. Very well sorted out. And what's their resistance looking like? We've got 21 lightning resist. It's positive. It's positive. Just basically the topaz ring there. Health is 581. Should see a decent boss kill for them here.
That's a lot. 581 is huge. If you compare it to Angormas with 498 on a warrior, it is a significant amount. Obviously, he's a little bit behind on progression. He's quite noticeably behind on progression now, with the mercenaries really pulling ahead of the warriors. There was a little bit of a question whether or not Angorma is going to pull the trigger on the mercenary swap, but no, he's sticking to the warrior. He's more focused on the demigods rather than the rank 1 overall that seems out of reach for warriors.
Yeah, I know he was definitely saying like he's not sure that he can take fastest overall, but he's trying. Angos has had a pretty busy work week this time as well, so not been able to practice quite as much as we saw him in the previous seasons too. So I don't think we're seeing Angormas at 100%, maybe just like 98% Angormas, which is still like better than most players, certainly better than any warriors on the field. But yeah, that fastest overall in the warrior, that's a tough one now with how strong mercenary in this grenade playstyle has been this season. And the cool thing is we've just seen it change so much every season. Like even warrior changing so much every season too. Like from perfect strikes to now to this shield playstyle, which you can see just absolutely slapping Ekbab there in the background. I do love that shield wall plus totem plus warcry action. It's very juicy.
Jamanra coming up. Hopefully the lightning resistance for Screws is going to be sufficient, as this is kind of a boss fight that you either takes no damage or you just die instantly to one of the attacks. So
that's
hopefully
like damage for you in a nutshell, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, certainly Screws taking on Jamanra first here with the first phase. Guy that dies, just heading into the Dreadnought now. But they're actually in third, as I believe Whole New Society is in second, 1 minute behind Screws right now. So Screws has a bit of a 1 minute lead. And if they can do this Jamanra kill smoothly, they should be able to maintain it. Nice roll there through the lightning tripwire. Matt, we have seen kill players.
Yeah, we've definitely seen it. And it's interesting, he has 6 to 13 cold damage on his crossbow, and it actually allowed him to have a pretty good uptime on chill, which makes this fight noticeably safer, as we've mentioned previously, mercenaries do tend to struggle a little bit with the survivability. Minus 25 chill now for the boss. We have seen some players die to it, as it throws you off on your timing. Sometimes a unexpected slow on the boss, results you in getting hit exactly like that due to it modifying the animation. So it's technically making things safer by making the boss slower, but it also can result in you getting one shot. On Jamanra, that shouldn't be too much of an issue.
That's a pretty good roll.
Going down nicely.
Nice, yeah. Pretty good in the end there. One little near miss. I actually noticed something pretty interesting. So I don't know if you mentioned this, but Whole New Society has Trench Timber, unique one-handed mace in their weapon swap for Leap Slam, which we'll be seeing more and more of as they transition over to kind of like the full speed run soon. It has 1.86 attacks per second. That is very, very fast mace right there.
That's great. I don't think you can get more. That's Biss.
Yeah, like I think like the Slim Mace with highest attack speed roll or something would be close to that. I don't even know if it's maybe faster. It's pretty wild.
So I don't think so. I mean,
really good for the leap slams there for them.
And yeah, you can see the focused optimization from Screws. Picks up his chest piece to make that little town run. What's this? What's that? Wait, what? It was Sin all along. Okay, that's spoiler, everybody. That's crazy.
It's like, did you see something interesting happen in the race? Wait a minute, what? That's Sin?
I was trying to be as sarcastic as humanly possible, Ziggy.
Yes. Yeah, I think we all called that one ahead of time. Every PoE1 player probably saw that one coming. But
Yep. Act 3. And really not many players close to it whatsoever. Whole New Society was about 1 minute behind entering the Dreadnought, behind Screws, meaning that. I wonder, last week we saw people killing Dredgerude, I think is his name.
That's the one.
And I couldn't quite figure out why. Do you maybe know, Ziggy?
The question was like, why kill them?
Yeah.
They do drop a gem, I believe. but I'm not sure how important that gem is. And indeed, with the changes to the Act 2 routing, it might be less important. It'll be interesting to see if they go for it this time. I'm just checking in on Lightspeed Cake in the background for people curious. And they are running Dreadnought, but I do see a fully cleared zone map with a full reset. So I think they did run into, let's just say, an incident, as we are seeing a full rerun of the Dreadnought right now from Lightspeed Cake. So unfortunately, that is going to have them fall off on time by several minutes after their very good Act 1 and 2 runs to this point. And typically late Act 2 is where the Sorks do start to fall behind a little bit. And Dreadnought is just punishing Lightspeed Cake right now. Really rough. But we have some updates in the background as well. Whole New Society was the second to kill Jamun-Ra with about 2 minutes behind Screws. So Screws having a really nice lead there on the Mercenary versus Mercenary.
Yeah, and it's increasing too. Again, keep in mind that they did enter the Dreadnought 1 minute behind and they exited 2 minutes behind. So that XP that Screws was able to get a surprisingly large amount of really coming into play here. As he didn't need to farm nearly as much. He gets the 4-link here. He's trying to navigate his way through the Abyss into town. He is actually going for the full Abyss kill, I think. What is the sort of reward that he's looking for? I can't see it. I don't know. He got something. It was pretty good.
I believe it's a gem. We have Cybrix in chat saying it's a level 9 gem from the boss there. So we are. I'm checking in on Whole New Society in the background, who is also taking on Root Dredge. So I'll get another chance to have a little look-see there just to confirm. But having a look at their gear as well. Oh, really nice gloves. There's some attack speed, life, and 1 to 14 lightning damage. Pretty much ideal. 15% movement speed.
Oh my!
They got it. Big damage.
I just watched something so dirty.
Yeah.
Wait, what happened? Wait, okay. Something really unusual happened. I think
it was Sin all along. Wait,
no. Somehow, Screws managed to get an insane crossbow with really ridiculous stats that had like 80 physical damage, and it was a bombarding crossbow. And he I'm not quite able to tell, but he was doing a lot of inventory management, and it looked like he was at the vendor. But that vendor is also kind of next to the stash, and I don't know if he stashed the crossbow or if he vendored it accidentally.
Yeah, okay.
It kind of looked like he vendored it, but there's no way, right?
Was it 80 IPD and then the rest of the stats were cooked? Because in that case, they might ditch it for something.
They were good. He had a bunch of fire damage on it, and I think he didn't have any flat damage.
I mean, it is a long time to carry that in your inventory right now with a pretty full inventory.
Yeah.
So might have actually just stashed it because it's still like 4 levels until they can actually equip it, which is a little while at this point. So, and they will be going back to town before then. So hopefully stashed and hopefully not accidentally vended without realizing. But even if that was the case, they do have 8 Exalts and an Alk and a Regal. So they could craft another one if they need to.
Yeah, for sure. We're getting to some more Jamun-Ra kills. We've already mentioned the second kill, but also we've got a third one coming up from Enzu. So really interesting. Yeah. Nice to see some new faces. Monkey coming up.
Oh no, and Gormus, what happened? I see some probably sarcastic clapping there.
Oi! Screws is dead!
I literally blinked. Was that the first?
He went for the reset and just instantly died.
Oh, the monkey was right there waiting. Well, there's that 2 minutes that
2.5
Society was behind. There's 2.5 minutes wait as Whole New Society was 2 minutes behind Screws. That certainly gives them an opportunity to be catching up right now. Once again, a major upset from the monkey. Classic, a tale as old as time.
It don't matter how good you are. Monkey can never hit you, and it can hit you 100% of the time. It doesn't matter who you are. Monkey doesn't judge. It doesn't choose. It only slams.
You should never, ever die to monkey, but on the other hand, you're going to die to monkey. It's 100% avoidable and never avoidable at the same time.
It's always funny whenever people freak out about it. How can you get hit by it? It's so easy. It's kind of one of those things like in PoE 1. It's like when people complain about Reflect in PoE 1. And they're like, oh, it's so easy. Just read your map. It's like, no, brother. If you haven't died to Reflect in PoE 1, you just didn't play the game enough. If you haven't died to Monkey in PoE 2, you just didn't play the game enough. It's just what it is.
It'll happen eventually.
It'll happen to everybody.
Yeah, Monkey is literally the dodge roll tutorial in this game. Like, I know there's one at the start with the Miller, but that's not the real dodge roll tutorial. That's Monkey. But, there's always something to learn, right? You've never truly mastered the game. And we get to
flashbacks.
Yes. Yeah, we have the
repeatedly
the brutal 2.5 minute wait here. Why are we seeing Whole New Society moving in the background? That's not Whole New Society on screen for the stream, right? Because I'm watching them right now. Wait, who am I watching? Screws. Oh, I'm watching Screws.
I'm watching Screws as well.
That's it. Yeah, Screws is still paused. We're seeing Whole New Society on the stream, of course, who is moving through, and this is giving them the opportunity to overtake Screws, which if we see a monkey kill here in a second, maybe we might be seeing that. Let's have a little bit. Was that a reset?
Are you switching over? I'm scanning for Screws. I'm wondering if he still did and if he's going to die again.
I'm watching Screws, yeah. I want to see the, maybe, oh, yes. Can we swap back to Screws right now if we can? Because Monkey's about to happen there. And I want to see a Revenge Monkey or Second Death, because that could be make or break for Screws' run. If we can get
the Whole New Society actually managed to get through. First person to
here we go.
Enter Infested Barrens. Not quite sure if they did do the Monkey.
They are taking things very carefully against the Monkey here. I don't know if that was a reset. Okay. I was wondering if I was stuttering there.
Oh, that's exactly how he died last time. He went for the reset and just instantly got slammed.
Right in. Monkey coming in on the portal hot there. All right. Much more respect towards the Monkey slams this time. Gets the stun. I think we're seeing the revenge here for Screws. Ooh, there's still a bit of chance for the Monkey to go for one more slam. Ooh, a little close. Round 2. Not without some spice. Gets the Monkey kill and sweet vengeance. But that did let Whole New Society take over just slightly. But now that means this is good for us. This is great for us because now we have an extremely close mercenary race between Guy That Dies, Screws, and Whole New Society, all being very close to each other right now. So I love this for us.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's going to be hard. We're not going to be able to show both of the players at the same time, unfortunately.
Let's not have a repeat of last week. I'm watching Screws. Would you like to watch Whole New Society? And we can have we can tell
I'm on it.
The crew in the background who to swap to as we go, whoever's kind of looking most interesting. And we can keep an eye on Guy That Dies over there. We're going to do our best to catch everyone and everything that we can. It has been especially challenging this season.
I think we
so many
for the stream. I think we should switch over to Whole New Society as they didn't get enough attention last week, being the winner and now currently being the lead due to Screws dying. And that's kind of what happened last week too. No, wasn't it Screws that I think ended up it was super close between him and Guy That Dies, and then Screws died 3 times in a row or something, and then it turned out the Whole New Society was actually the winner all along.
Came out of nowhere. Yeah, it was we have kind of notifications of certain breakpoints, and then Whole New Society just kind of in the background while we were watching a boss fight and killed them. So, we did miss the winner last week, which is unforgivable, but we hope you can forgive us nonetheless. But we do owe Whole New Society, and we'll take a look at how they're going.
And it was
right now for them. Are they doing some rendering?
Yeah, and it was especially interesting too because apparently they entered the fight second, so maybe they have some extra tech in regards to how they approach their Act 4 boss. Hopefully, again, this is not a player that we have been really paying attention to that much despite the winners, so it could be somebody that potentially comes up with some new strategies, some new approaches, some different player skill expression. So far, that was interesting. He actually went to town. He just TP'd to town, but it's not to pick up the crossbow. He has really good gloves. Holy, 34 life, 37 armor, 10 attack speed, dexterity, fire resistance. Ridiculous. 15% movement speed boots with 2 resistances and an open suffix. I mean, Whole New Society is popping off here. His amulet, not great. No chest piece still. He's opting to go for the additional 5% movement speed. Not really a particularly crazy weapon from him either. Not really a crazy weapon whatsoever. Still using a varnished crossbow. So the level 16 weapon. really impressive, I gotta say. He's doing really good work here with not a whole lot of gear in terms of damage. Tanks that first slam. HP is a resource, man, but his damage is good. His gear is not great. He's got a lot of attack speed on everything, sure, but you're kind of bottlenecked by those grenade cooldowns. It is nice on the Chimera, though, because this boss phases a lot, so it allows you for the little bit of recovery.
That was perfectly placed frost bomb and grenades there, but the Chimera just immediately goes back into the air. Pretty rude, really.
Yeah.
Pretty rude.
Can he get the stun off here and finish off the boss? Or is he going to have to deal with the pillar? Oh, he gets it. Should be able to finish it here. Oh, it was going up. Nice. That was close.
Nicely done. Screws in the background for an update is about halfway through Chimera Wetlands. So Whole New Society has a good minute lead, I would say, at this point. And yeah, that's them entering Jakanis right now. So... yeah, I'll let you know when Screws kind of gets that kill. Keep an eye on Whole New Society for the moment. But comparing to the gear, what movement speed did you say Whole New Society had?
15 with 2 res and an open suffix. His boots are abyss. He's not replacing those.
Those are really good. Yeah, we've just got the 10% with A resistance from Screws and pretty good damage gear overall and some okay defenses too. I think the jewelry's looking quite nice. And
yeah, he's also He's got a sapphire ring with 30% cold resistance implicit, and then 16 fire res and 12% cold resistance. So he's got some. His gear overall is not crazy, but some of the pieces that are good are really best in slot. He's not really going to be able to replace it. He's got a pretty useless chest piece in his inventory, but he's going to be equipping that for the waterways that's coming up. In the future, not quite there yet.
Angormus going a little low on the lightning damage from Jarman Ra there. So I think there was some controversy for Angormus in the background as well, where I think when he had that sarcastic clap earlier and had maybe like a reset or something, I think he might have had a bug or a crash or something like that. Someone was saying he accidentally lost one of his link gems. So I'm not sure what the case was there. I might actually spectate and peek in on them to see if I can see what's going on for Angormus, our warrior, if I can get the in-game name.
Interesting. Yeah, you guys can see some of the skips happening for Screws. You can actually jump over those roots that block the way with Leap Slam and a bunch of other abilities as well. That's why Leap Slam is just so important, as we've mentioned previously. Interesting. We've got Screws already entering Jikwani Sanctum. Pretty interesting zone for our players here. What kind of RNG are they going to get on those soul cores? You can always manipulate this zone in your favor by clearing it out a little bit, revealing your map, and then resetting on the checkpoint. But if you have good enough RNG, you could find the soul cores on the way to those platforms.
Yeah, without seeing the exact VOD of what happened or something, I'm looking at Angormus's gems right now, and I don't see any 3-socketed items. So that Jeweler's Orb was spent somewhere and then lost. So I think maybe he had it on a cursor and crashed or something, and maybe lost it. It's just a guess, but is unfortunately one Jeweler's down. Of course, there is another guaranteed one, but that's definitely not ideal. Unfortunate for Angormus. I know he's been pretty frustrated. He's had a bit of a bad streak of luck, both with drops in the first race and also a couple of nasty bugs here and there across his different races. So poor guy's really been getting the worst of it there. You hate to see it, especially for someone like Angormus, who puts so much in as the heart of PoE2 racing for me as well. Maybe didn't get the Jeweler's Orb drop because of something. Oh, with an Abyssal Depth? Oh, maybe. Okay. You got Abyssal Depth instead of the Falling. Whoa! That's so unlucky. But you get the lucky rare thing, but you don't get the thing you actually want from it. I haven't even heard of that being possible.
Oh, yeah.
It's not so much a bug. It's just a really unfortunate confluence of events there. I appreciate that's not a bug at least. But still, that's just somehow feels even unluckier. Oh, no.
Damn. Didn't even know that can happen so early, really. Okay, well, still Jikwani's 4 Screws currently in the lead with Whole New Society close. Or no, sorry, Whole New Society is in the... Who is in the lead right now? I'm actually not even sure.
Okay. So we have Whole New Society first, Enzu second. I need to have a look at Enzu, I think. Maybe I'll get their IGN and have a look where they're at. I will check in on Enzu as they are currently in second. And Screw's in third to kill Chimera. So we do have our first, second, and third there, with Guy That Dies likely being our fourth as they're heading through the Chimera. And I'll have a look at Enzu and see what they are doing. So Enzu was a name we haven't seen previously, who either swapped to Merc or is having a particularly good Merc around this race, and that does seem to be continuing here. I thought they were kind of like falling off a bit in Act 1, but it seems they've made a bit of a comeback here, taking second place. And indeed, we do see him leap slamming through Jakani's Machinarium now, so they're on their way. If we have some time, I'll give a little bit of a look at the gear. Oh my lord, that varnished crossbow. It's got, it has 3 prefixes and no suffixes. Interesting. And the prefixes are 80% physical, like gigantic fire roll, and weapon elemental damage, like 69% weapon elemental. Nice crossbow. Crazy crossbow.
Let's go. ZIGGYD 4, Whole New Society.
How did they even craft that? They annul it?
Okay, this is some crazy damage. There was a nasty burst happening there. The Warden of the Core not going to be doing a whole lot of warding for much longer. And just to take down the boss. He's dead. Oh, and he gets an Exalted Orb. Yeah, that's kind of a big deal. Oh, actually, never mind. Sorry. Whole New Society has 6 Exalted Orbs, so it was Screws that was kind of struggling on their
quite
gear.
A few Exalt drops. And we got some nice currency strong boxes earlier as well, which helped a few of the players out with a few extra Exalts here and there.
Man, I wonder though, why isn't he using his Exalted Orbs? I mean, you do kind of want armor gear, and the boots that I previously mentioned are energy shield, so he's maybe holding back on that. But with 6 Exalted Orbs, he could be doing so much with his gear, but maybe it just doesn't matter. He's super confident. I want to say that he's not having Regal Orbs, but he has 3 of those as well. His inventory manages great. He has 5 Blacksmith Stones, so that's going to be great for that bombarding weapon that he's going to be equipping hopefully soon. I'm not still sure about the status, as those tend to be kind of difficult to get. He did hit level 32 now. But, and he has the Consecrated Ground Staunching Charm. So kind of interesting. The Consecrating Ground, super useful, but he has to get bled for it, which doesn't happen a lot.
Yeah, there's not a lot of that going on. Enzu, well, it looks like Whole New Society is 3 minutes in the lead currently as of the recent checkpoint. So that's a really good lead to be having at this point, and we'll see if they can maintain it through the waterways. So keep an eye on Whole New Society as they head through waterways. One of the most dangerous and frustrating zones for some of the players. I'm seeing Enzu in the background, a current second place player, and taking a look at them as they currently work their way through Jakani's Sanctum and taking a look at their gear. In addition to a really good crossbow, they have some very nice damage gear across the board. And not a lot of defense, though, although the resists are looking fine. I would say the comfortable kind of minimums there are being met. But really interestingly, from their gear, they picked up a 32 Spirit Amulet. And we see that happen from time to time. Usually the players do nothing with it. But they actually must have gotten a random Spirit Gem drop or had one sitting in their inventory, because they actually cut and are using Wind Dancer, which Wind Dancer we saw in, I think, season 1, when players were still doing the side quests to actually get Spirit as part of the quest, because they needed it for waterways, because it would knock the enemies back in waterways. But Wind Dancer is a really good thing to get as just like an extra bonus for free like this, and actually taking advantage of it, like getting the amulet and then like being like, oh yeah, well, I also got a gem, so I'll cut that since I have this amulet. I like to see that, like, on the fly kind of changing of your build, because that's not planned, right? Like that's an adjustment being made, and I like it.
Yeah, and I gotta say, I'm beginning to understand Whole New Society. I think they don't have a bombarding weapon, and he's doing a lot of killing. He went to town a couple times now, trying to check the vendor. They are 32 and a half, and I just saw them vendor another bombarding, so...
They're not getting the bombard they need. They really want to have that sorted out very soon. Well, there'll be one more final shopping trip to try and get that sorted out, otherwise they're going to start getting a little bit worried and losing time to the other mercs who likely will have a bombarding sorted. I don't see one in the inventory of Enzu, though. So as good as the current crossbow is, you just cannot beat the bombard, really. You have to get that bombard swap. It's just so strong.
Yeah, and I think something worth mentioning in regards to screws falling off a little bit after their rip, I really wonder if it's just mental damage, right? If you're in the lead, if you're rank 1, that's something that I've always really praised about players that you guys might be familiar with from PoE 1, that's Havoc. He's somebody who's always been able to stay rank 1 at all times, and he was comfortable at rank 1, where I see a lot of players kind of put a lot of pressure on themselves and really freak out about it. And yeah, it tends to cost you. Most players don't really handle being at rank 1 that well. Whole New Society doing it really well for sure. And yeah, it's a little bit unfortunate that Screws has fallen off so far, but I am really beginning to worry that this varnished crossbow for Whole New Society, as he now hits level 33, it's just not going to be sufficient. He doesn't immediately swap to anything.
Yeah, we've got nothing lined up. The only consolation here is that Enzu is currently in the same boat. They do not have a bombard, but I would say Enzu's varnish crossbow is like the best I've ever seen in my life. So it's very, very good. So that does help them out for a little bit, but they'll both be wanting to transition over to that bombard as soon as possible. I'll try and check in on Screws to see how they're going soon as well. But we do see they just started their waterways, whereas Whole New Society is just finishing their waterways there. So that gives you an idea of the difference there. It's a 3.5 minute gap as they need to work their way through the waterway, a zone where many things can go wrong. Thankfully, Whole New Society didn't seem to. Had a pretty clean run, I believe.
Oh, he has two. Yeah. He has 2 bombarding quivers, 2 bombarding crossbows at the vendor. He manages to transmit one for +2 projectiles. Oh, it's tricky. Okay. Okay. I'm not. Oh God, this is hard. Wait, why did he even do this? Okay, so he had a one with 1 to 63 lightning damage and reduced attribute requirements, and the other one was +2, but he bricked the prefix because it's 2 to 6 cold damage, and then he regals hybrid physical damage for 20% increased physical damage. And then he just Exalt slams it and everything misses. He just gets nothing out of it. So not a good weapon for Whole New Society. He's definitely not happy with this one. He fully qualities it and everything because he understands. Used all of his currency. This is the weapon that he's going to have to use for the rest of the race.
Yeah, that's not the best bombard, but honestly, that's possible. High cold, high lightning is good. That you get the shocks off that, so that's still, I would say, good enough. But crafting not going the best for them. I'll let you know how Enzu's goes in the background, and then I'll have to check in on Screws as well and see how they're looking. But yeah, good job, camera crew, getting some inventory action there for the viewers as Rise is kind of like moaning in the background at the crafting because Rise was looking in the inventory at the time.
I almost threw up looking at that thing, and it wasn't in a good way, you know? I gotta watch some Angorimus to see a little bit of good RNG, because this was sick. I mean, this might determine the run, honestly. Whole New Society, with the weapon that he's got, I don't know if this is going to be sufficient. We still have so much more of Act 3, and in the entirety of Act 4, he's going to have to get through. He does have a really significant lead. Defensively, his gear is really good. But this weapon, it is kind of crazy to see how big of an influence RNG has been on this race so far, because it kind of tends to not be the case, really. I mean, we're always seeing better and worse RNG, sure, but rarely ever does it feel like it determines the outcome of the race. That might actually happen here this time around.
No way.
I mean, it's good.
It's going to be so much skill expression in Act 4 still to go. If anyone can stay alive, that makes all the difference over a crossbow craft, I'll tell you that. One death will make all the difference.
100%. And I mean, that's pretty much what it came down to, I think, in the last race. Again, we haven't been keeping up with Whole New Society last time. That's why he's getting so much attention this time around. He is the previous race winner, with Guy That Dies winning the first out of the 3 that we did this season. And yeah, the guy, I think Guy That Dies died once or twice, and then Screws just repeatedly died. He seemingly wasn't able to finish the race at all. So it could be that Whole New Society just didn't die. He had a little bit of a safer approach. He min-maxed his approach. He min-maxed his strategy now. And it's showing here. As long as he can stay alive, it's going to be nice. He does have the level 33 that you need for the bombarding crossbow, regardless of how strong it is. And you can see that he swapped over to the leap slam shield approach. And that means that he has a significantly better survivability, but then also he's able to just jump around that much more and save himself a lot of time by not having to kill any monsters anymore. Level 33. And his final weapon, let's see what kind of single target he's going to be looking at on the Queen of Filth, a boss that's taken down many of our speedrunners in the past. And I think there was a pretty big upset. I can't remember if it was Guy That Dies or Angormas, but we had a really big rip on the Queen of Filth last race.
As you're watching,
oh, that was such a clutch log. He almost died the exact same way as we saw last season. The first hit hit him, and I swear to God, he was like 1/10 of a second of getting hit by the second one. He goes for the reset. It's going to cost him a lot of time, but he stays alive, not having to deal with that 2.5 minute penalty.
Was that Whole New Society we saw with that death last time? We definitely saw one just like that last week, and just narrowly avoiding it this time.
I think it was Guy That maybe not, because we were talking about how he didn't die. Yeah, the damage is huge, and a massive. Potentially a massive Bloodstone amulet too. Oh my God, it's got 79 life, 71 mana, and 6% fire res, and an open suffix with mana regeneration.
Yeah, that'll be getting exalted probably at some point. That's pretty nice.
Yeah, but with what currency? He doesn't have anything, and he still needs a weapon. He used all of it. Damn, Whole New Society having just incredible gear.
Yeah,
but then his weapon is just so lacking.
Despite that reset, that was them killing the Queen of Filth before anyone else even reached that zone. With I'm watching Screws right now in the background, and they are just about to enter the zone beforehand. So a bit of a gap there.
Oh, damn, that's huge. Man, and they're really not catching up. I mean, the weapon isn't that big of a deal yet. Oh, damn, he gets the first read on the temple as well. Nicely done already, but by Whole New Society.
Actually, who is in second? I'm going to try and find out. So that's Enzu was in second, and they have just started Drowned City. I'm going to take a look at Screws.
Oh my! He's really far behind. Gotta Die still in the waterways, and Gormis just falling so far behind.
Yeah,
on the warrior.
Waterways for Screws. So that does put Enzu in second with a pretty decent lead for Whole New Society right now.
Oh my damage from Whole New Society. Jeez.
Crazy damage.
Okay, I mean,
your fears of their crossbow were turned out somewhat unfounded, perhaps.
I mean, I think he just got a bunch of crits in there. I don't think this was I mean, the lightning damage is kind of a big deal. He has a lot of elemental damage. It's just like he's lacking the fizz. But as you continue to progress, bosses and enemies have more and more resistances. So it could be that the elemental damage is just making up for the lack of physical damage now. I don't know if that's going to hold up in Act 4. And most importantly, the bosses that we always talk about are most sketchy, deal a lot of lightning resistance, deal a lot of lightning damage, which means that a lot of times they also have increased lightning resistance. I'm looking at you, Benedictus. And so, yeah, maybe that lightning damage is going to make things so much more difficult for them. I mean, he does. Listen, the crossbow does have 13 to critical damage bonus. I mean, maybe he just got a bunch of crits in. I'm not quite sure as they're dropping low, but managing to get through and heading over to the Viper. 731 life. That amulet is putting in a lot of work. 80 life is nothing to scoff at. It's probably more life, 67. Wait, whoa! He actually isn't using the Bloodstone. So the Bloodstone is 30.
Crazy.
Yeah, the Bloodstone is 33 maximum life implicit and 79 max life explicit. But their other amulet has 14 intelligence on the Lapis. It's got 67 life, 25 energy shield, 15 cold rest, 22 lightning resistance, and an open suffix. So if you can slam it with a Exalt, that's a lot of potential resistance.
Tri-res coming on that thing later on. We'll see it. But yeah, we saw a whole new society kill the Kopek Temple boss before anyone even entered the Apex of Filth. So he's just speeding ahead, like second by second. Every second spent is just like an extra second gained over everyone else. That makes any sense.
Yep.
Viper fight coming up now.
That makes all of it. I agree.
2 seconds.
All the sense it needs to make.
Half a second. I don't know. Viper Napuatsi time. A fight where we've seen things go wrong. It is a fight that you should never lose, but we see people lose it all the time. It's a bit like the monkey. Things can go wrong in here in a few different ways.
Yeah, for sure.
Tough one for the grenades. There's a little bit around a lot.
Yeah, he actually messed up. So your positioning determines what starting ability Viper is going to use. And he stood a little bit too close, and that allows Viper to move. That's why those initial grenades missed. Oh man, the damage.
Just one phase. He was able to keep damaging her through that one as well. She didn't go immune. And just one phase like that. Actually, the ideal Viper despite the early opener.
I think I'm underestimating the amount of elemental damage just coming out of this crossbow. You know, especially in PoE 1, elemental damage is something that falls off. By the time you're in Act 3 and you've got elemental damage on your attack setup, it tends to be really bad. Man, not the case for PoE 2. This elemental damage is putting in the work. There is a large amount of variance in the damage, so he could just be high rolling with his crossbow having 20 to 81 physical damage, and then you've obviously got the 1 to 63 lightning damage roll. Listen, he could just be high rolling, but man, that burst looked pretty crazy, and definitely something that might just hold up for the rest of the run. Really impressive stuff so far.
And once again, they take down Viper Napuatsi before anyone was able to kill Queen of Filth. So extending that lead even further, just an insane sprint from Whole New Society right now. But we do see Guy That Dies take down the Queen of Filth finally there. So that whole streak of Whole New Society doing the whole game before they get to Queen of Filth is finally come to a close. That terrible chapter in their lives.
Yeah, but I really wonder, again, this is what we've talked about previously, right? The pressure of being rank 1. Will he be able to handle it? Whole New Society. I mean, he won a race before, but he wasn't exactly in the lead for the majority of the race. So it's kind of it's kind of nice to just show up and just take rank 1 out of nowhere. It's a whole different story when you're rank 1 throughout the entire race. I don't know if this is the sort of pressure he's going to be able to handle. So far, it's looking good, but we still have so many difficulties coming up, and he's going to have to really manage how risky does he want to play it, or with the current mechanical ability, is he just going to be good enough to not have to take any risks with the lead he's having?
As they say, this is Whole New Society's race to lose right now, I would say.
Right.
That's probably the appropriate way of calling this one. But they are heading into their Doriani fight now. You know, previous seasons, this would have been the end of the race. We still have another act of exciting boss fights to go. But we do see them taking on Doriani. Right as Guy That Dies takes on their Kedzuli fight, and we'll see how quick that is for them.
And it's crazy to think. It's an hour 57 now. So this is the speed that we were seeing from Rake, no? What kind of times were we? No, there's no way. I must be misremembering.
Rake was so fast, but that is like insane times for sure. Certainly a far cry from what we saw in Season 1. That was a really good first phase. Pretty impossible to skip the lasers. Can technically be done, I believe, but not the case here, even with that insane damage.
To give you guys an idea, on Gormis's personal best Doriani, so the player who's pretty much practiced the most out of anybody, granted on a slightly weaker class from the looks of it so far, but his personal best is 154. So really impressive run here from Whole New Society. And again, it is a player who has always been practicing in PoE 2, and who's been having results, and he's been trying out different classes. And this Doriani it's looking clean. The 20% shock from the lightning damage, super effective, gets the stun off. It's got to be enough to finish this boss.
Crazy.
Whole New Society,
So
first
fast.
person to kill Act 3 boss.
Doriani just getting absolutely embarrassed there, not able to put up a fight whatsoever. Don't worry, there'll be some bosses to put up a fight. There's several bosses in the upcoming Act 4 that they'll be heading into that certainly could shake up the race a bit here. But the lead is roughly 5 minutes at this point, which is gives them some cushion. It gives them a little bit of a buffer. There's 2 deaths there that you could potentially take and still pull off the win. And I will say, so like the big grand prize for this race is obviously that fastest run overall, and that's not just for this race, that's across every race. So the time to beat would be 2 hours, 36 minutes and 15 seconds. However, that time actually currently belongs to Whole New Society. So Whole New Society technically doesn't have to beat that time necessarily. They have to beat the next fastest time, which would be Drizz's, is it Drizz? I believe that's Drizz's 2 hours, 37 minutes and 25 seconds, might be the second fastest. But either way, they're probably going to be getting faster than any of those times this week, based on how this current run is going.
Apparently, the fastest rake run was 2 hours and 15 minutes from the previous seasons.
So beating out Act 3 kill. That's such crazy improvement.
Crazy.
There you go. Grenades are stronger than rake stomping grounds. Or maybe the races are a lot better. It's probably a bit of that.
Yeah, I think everybody got like 15 minutes better, which is really crazy. I mean I'm saying everybody, but it's really just Whole New Society. Nobody's even remotely close to Doriani yet.
There is an everybody aspect to it as the community works together to solve zones and share zones in the campaign codex Discord. They're all like dumping layouts and writing 23-page PDFs of how to solve the Rust zone. Like there is, I'm not even exaggerating. There's like a 23-page PDF on how to optimally run that zone in Act 1, and that is the case.
I love the developer propaganda in our group chat saying plus sprint. Yeah, we get it. You gave us a mobility skill. Okay.
I like sprint. Also, I love to see the races face plan against rowers. So thanks for that as well. That's so cool.
Yeah, I don't like how they can reset it. Maybe, we can change that in the future.
No log out on sprint collapse. Your like escape key gets disabled until you stand back up. Yeah, I mean, how you supposed to press that button when your hands are like currently like splayed out on the ground, right?
True.
Viper Knife
just Jamie Lannister them
right now. Viper Knife probably not going to be quite as good as Whole New Society's was, as they do go into an immunity phase and they are forced to spend some time dodging here. So we had a 17-second Viper Knife kill for Whole New Society, which might be our fastest ever, I think. Actually crazy.
Yep. Actually,
record Viper fights.
I don't know if some of the witches and the sorceresses weren't getting that. Man, the guy that dies taking so much damage from this Viper fight, but not quite enough for him to die. And oh no, guy that dies gets another immunity phase, and you can't even see the boss's life anymore. That's so unlucky.
That's filthy. Oh, guy, I feel for him. I'm a big fan of guy that dies. I've been watching some of their practice runs. That hurts to see, but gets the fight done at the end and wastes no time. Not going to look at the loot, just getting right out of there. They want to be doing whatever they can to catch up at this point, as we are well into Act 4 for Whole New Society right now, and I have swapped over to spectating them, but we'll keep an eye out if anyone kind of begins to do any secret catch-ups. Let us know in the background. Support crew, you guys got this. They're doing amazing work in the background.
And the gap keeps increasing. Guy that dies, second to kill Viper, 7 minutes behind.
Crazy. There's almost 3 deaths worth of time there.
What is happening? How is this gap so ridiculous?
How? Yeah, right. How are they extending the lead so much? That's actually crazy. Like I would have expected like a slight creep forwards, like a few seconds here and there, maybe.
Sure.
But like, obviously there was like 30 seconds gained in the Viper fight there of a guy that dies. So if that is happening every time, that's adding up. And now we see Diamora, a fight where lots of time can be lost if it's a sloppy fight. The zoom in phases cost you a lot of time. Ooh, lots of damage being taken. Huge amount of health, but we do go into one of the immunity phases, of course.
The what, Ziggy? The zooming phase?
Yeah, the zoom in phase. It's the phase where you zoom in on the boss. Right,
Why would you do that, Ziggy? Huh?
I would never personally, but It's racing strategy. I don't believe we're seeing any zoom in this time though. 100%
And this is the
focus for whole new
difference.
society, not getting distracted by anything that's on display.
True.
Not
This is
even
the difference.
respectfully looking, just focused on what their business is.
He's even looking away on purpose. Look. He doesn't-
I like it. 100% focus. Oh, maybe losing a little bit of focus here. Gets caught in the area. Eats a few stacks there, but they should decay before the fight even continues there. Just two, 3 stacks.
Yeah, still dropping off. These ads are
There we
applying
go.
some of them as well. Boss comes out, but the positioning is a little bit tricky with these ads. The double jump. Here comes the boss showing up. He
He's
manages
been
to.
forced
Oh, okay, yeah. He actually super almost died.
How does he survive that? The follow-up as well.
The follow-up. That's what I thought he's gonna die to, but he manages to roll out. Then he eats the beam and almost jumps back into the initial attack that was supposed to kill him.
37
Handles it well though. Stays alive.
I am very surprised. That was very close. I 100% thought that was a death there. But they maintain their lead and only having one immunity phase in the end there. So straight into prison. This is where we see players make differences in choices, but we won't see the other players making those choices for a little while yet.
And this really showcases the difference between a good player and, well, me. Because I would have totally equipped the Bloodstone Amulet, which, yeah, it has more life, but it doesn't have cold resistance. And because he's stuck with the Lapis Amulet that's got less life, but it's more specific to that boss fight, he actually manages to stay alive. That cold resistance, making all of the difference.
Yeah, the math checks out. Could have made all of the difference there. Guy that dies moving into their second phase now for Doriani after a nice clean first phase. I don't expect any major upsets on Doriani this time. We do see people die to the butt laser on occasion with a mistimed dodge roll, but I don't expect that from Guy that dies. Highly skilled player here. Should be having a clean Doriani fight.
Yeah, for sure. And we already are in the prison, so a little bit of personal preference, a little bit of approach depending on the sort of gear that you have, but with the amount of cold resistance that Whole New Society has, he's going to opt to clear this zone as one of his first ones, as Guy that dies takes down his Doriani. Super clean fight. Doesn't even take any damage, I don't think.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that puts Guy that dies in second with Enzu in third now, yet to kill Doriani, I believe. We'll just get an update on the times in a moment just to see kind of how close they are, how they're keeping up. But once again, definitely Whole New Society is a race to lose here after some extreme back and forth in Act 1 and 2, with just us really struggling to kind of keep track of anyone, to now seeing just this display of like pure mastery on top of good RNG, right? Like getting the good gear and taking the most advantage of it as possible. Because, like we've said, that's the thing. You know, you don't want to have that situation where you kind of like throw such a big advantage, and they're definitely not doing that.
Damn, yeah. Progressing through the prison now. Whole New Society. I'm really trying to pay attention, but they have a. Okay, they have a very Alkaizer-esque playstyle, I gotta say. You know, it's something in PoE 1 where you're watching somebody like Ben, you can tell why they're the fastest. But when you're watching Alkaizer, he's always super consistent, but nothing really stands out. And that's kind of what I'm seeing from Whole New Society. With Lightspeed Cake, I could tell, like, oh, he's doing this, he's doing that. Whole New Society is just super consistent, super steady, doesn't take any unnecessary risks, and that's an indication that he's done this a lot and he's super comfortable. From what I heard in the previous runs, he wasn't super happy with his performance in especially the first race of the second of our third season now, because he was practicing a ton, but the result wasn't quite there. Second race, he wins. Third race, I mean, it ain't over until it's over. Man, he's not even making it look like a competition so far.
Yeah, considering what we've seen in the previous races, this is a night and day difference for a lead here. We have not seen such a clean race from anyone in any of these races at this point. It has been a season for drama with so many deaths. but none so far. Dot dot dot. Don't expect to see one from the prisoner, not usually presenting too much of a threat to the players. Pretty clean and well worked out boss here, and the damage is certainly there for a whole new society to be able to pull off a nice clean one there. Interestingly, swapping to the other ballista rather than staying on the same one.
Yeah, that was interesting. I wonder.
Two uniques. So many unique drops.
A wand and an energy shield chest piece. I don't know if that's going to be helpful.
Yeah, not exactly what they're looking for. Maybe we can palm them off to one of the Sorks or something. Do a little bit of a solo self-found trade over to them as they head into Shark Island. This boss can catch you off guard. We've seen people, even the tankiest, such as Angormus, die to this boss, but it's also a boss you can kill pretty quickly with grenades. It's nice and big and tends to stay there and eat several rounds of grenades. So we'll see if Whole New Society has a nice clean one. But the zone itself is actually pretty dangerous. So there is a guaranteed shrine in here. I don't know if the path always goes through. I think it does. I think there's a checkpoint and you're always forced through the shrine. But the shrine is different each time. Every player will have a shrine there. But I think the shrine will be the same for all of them because of fixed seed. If it's an iced shrine, you got to watch out because that I have seen kill players in practice runs so many times. I think I saw like 2 or 3 deaths in a row from someone trying to run through the cold shrine. It's just like the mobs there and the actual cold projectiles themselves do so much damage and freeze you mid-air as you leap slam. Really tough. But on the flip side, you can use that against the boss, which makes like for an insta kill on the boss too. So
the Abyss is. The Abyss in this zone is super sketchy too. So if the Abyss overlaps with the Shrine, things get really nasty.
I actually seen people reset when that happens. Like you just don't even want to attempt that. If there's a cold Shrine and an Abyss there, no, you just don't. You just reset the zone because the Abyss is something that, despite the fixed seed, will move around. So you can actually kind of reposition that with a respawn at checkpoint. And it is a fire meteor Shrine, which is safe enough to get through. Nicely done. And actually scoops it up on the run through. Normally we see players like kind of come back for it via checkpoint for the boss, but with the damage here, I think that it's probably not going to make all that much difference ultimately for this one.
Nice Abyss too. Manages to get through the mobs as quickly as possible. Doesn't care about the XP. Penalty is too severe at this point. Doesn't need anything else. Turns out the crossbow is more than good enough. And we're going to have another boss coming up as Guy that dies.
Set immunity phase a little bit earlier.
Diamora.
There we go. There's the respectful zoom in. Thank you very much, Guy that dies. It's a tactical, strategic decision from the racers, 100%. Just helps them kind of lock in, I suppose. But we see Scourge of the Skies going down. There's enough time on that shrine to actually delete the boss. So that was a calculated shrine grab. Thought it would last to the boss maybe. And indeed it did, with just a few seconds to spare for some immense damage on that boss, and that makes a dangerous boss go bye-bye. Very nice to see.
I would like to officially apologize to Corruption Core Bombard Crossbow. I was not familiar with your game. Holy, that damage is preposterous.
You spoke so much smack to that crossbow. Corruption Core. You don't want an enemy like that, buddy.
That's sick. That's ridiculous.
All right, Guy that dies is working their way through that ad phase. The boss comes up nicely on top of those grenades. Ideal.
Good. And just to give you guys an idea of how big of a pop-off this is, Angormus was the first person to kill Act 3 Doriani last week, and he did it at 2 hours and 5 minutes. Whole New Society did it in 1 hour and 58 minutes. Crazy. So, and that's a really good time for Angormus too. So this is really unprecedented. What Whole New Society is putting out
historic
is just not anything else that we've ever seen. And again, I do think it boils down to the consistency of play. I'm really not seeing anything flashy here, that we see from other players, that they have like a crazy item, although I'm respecting you, Crossbow, or anything like that.
It's pretty good gear across the board on top of extremely good play. And that is the confluence of events to see a record-setting run here. And that is potentially going to be the case. But we do go through a pretty iffy zone here. So there's some tricky leap slamming to be done through here, across the railings and up the stairs and everything like that. Very difficult to do, but they're having a very clean run through right now. And I will say, if you screw up this zone or the boss at the end of it, it is the worst zone to screw up. you have to rerun the entire thing, and you get stuck in the bubble again. I've seen that happen multiple times. Sometimes you get stuck in the bubble. They do the whole lore. I saw a practice run recently, I think from Guy maybe or Crimson, and they killed the boss and died at the same time, and still got stuck in the bubble, even though the boss was dead, and had to like reset at checkpoint after waiting for the bubble. It's brutal. So you don't want to fail in here. Got to keep it clean. So far, so good.
For sure. Man, I'm really. He gets the Exalted Orb, so still a little bit of gear to upgrade. He uses this on his helmet. His helmet has 33 life, 22 fire resistance, 17 lightning resistance, and 223 armor with a socket. He has sockets on like everything. He still has two. Actually, he doesn't have artificers. Yeah, his gear is pretty good.
I'm just comparing the maces now, because we saw that unique mace. I believe that was on Screws. So Screws has the unique mace Trench Timber that gives 1.86 attack speed. But we see like the next best thing right now from Whole New Society, who has a slim mace, which is the best in slot with attack speed. So they've got 1.68 attack speed. So that's not quite as fast, 1.8 versus the 1.6, but that is ideal outside of the case of getting a crazy unique like Screws got.
Here we go. Torvian,
yeah. 800 HP is really good to have for this boss right now, though. That is really, really nice. The auto attack combo does 500 instantly, which you can be close to that as a merc and die to like, some follow-up attack. But 800 damage is really safe. It's a tough fight for the grenades, though. Look how much the boss moves around. You want to keep them on the wall, but you also kind of want them to throw the stones at the spellcasters to get the debuffs. Like get the buffs off. Almost got a stun here, and that'll be where they try and finish the fight off that stun there. Not quite like ready to follow up. Grenades on cooldown.
He stunned it too early.
Yeah,
he didn't interrupt the ad, and so the boss.
It's the boomerang like twice in a row as it bounces off the walls.
It's looking sketchy.
Yeah.
Oh, he gets it here. Yeah,
and that is the fight there. Oh, yeah, there we go. It was definitely that's one of the like kind of just fights that really drags right now for the mercenaries. Just such a little target, so mobile, so hard to land those grenades on, and still a little bit dangerous too. But they managed to get through for a few dodges.
All right, here we go.
Yeah,
one out of the two bosses that really just kicks ass. We've seen people die to this boss, seen him die to it repeatedly. There is a guaranteed shrine here, and obviously we haven't seen it quite yet. So I wonder what kind of shrine he's going to be getting.
Yeah, I mean, ideally you want like a damage shrine or something, so you don't have to worry about damage or mana throughout that fight. Get it over a bit faster. Maybe avoid one of those nasty phases. I will say though, right now, Whole New Society's lightning res 63%, nearly capped lightning resistance for this fight. Is
we've seen players die with that.
It can still happen.
Still seen players died with it, yeah.
You eat the entire barrage and then a follow-up or something, you can be in a lot of trouble. But I don't know, I feel like 800 life and 60 lightning res, they've got some room for error.
No shrine. Okay, interesting. He actually is just going for a massive record. He doesn't even care. He's not holding back. 804 life. Damn. 25 energy shield from that amulet. It actually, I think it does. PoE 2 does have the 50% stun prevention if you have energy shield, I think. So that actually could be making a pretty noticeable difference here too.
Here we go. Spicy fight time. Benedictus. Big grenades.
Nice
Ideal
damage.
Dodge rolls and open off. First part of the fight going very smoothly for him. Careful.
He's not close to the stun though. So he's not going to have any stuns coming out of the second phase. Quite a lot of RNG.
Not even using flashbang, I notice, which is an interesting change.
Yeah, interesting actually. Yeah, he's like
flashbang. Whole New Society's been.
He's gonna get it here.
Big damage. Doesn't even need the stun. Just takes the kill. Crazy, wild. Yeah, we're seeing some differences from Whole New Society.
That looked so easy. He just like.
Yeah, right. Like I didn't even look like
it.
That wasn't even a fight. It just did auto attacks. Like what? Crazy.
Yeah, but this is what I'm talking about. It's not flashy, but man, does it get the job done.
Yeah,
really nicely done from Whole New Society.
It's been a really fascinating run for them because they've made like quite a few different changes over the established conventions of what is considered like the way to run Merc right now after race 2, with players using flashbang and using like the pin support and stuff like that.
I mean,
And were they not even using contagion early on too? I think that was Whole New Society not using contagion. So just like
I
very
can't quite
different.
remember. Yeah, I mean, this is a not so politely called the trash can strategy. This is something that Ty23 kind of invented in a lot of ways. Just this not super flashy, not doing anything crazy, but making sure you're not dying and that you don't need to take any risks at any point. And man, it is just so effective. That Benedictus fight, it was nothing that we've ever seen before. We are going to be seeing other Benedictus fights, possibly, depending on how close some of our other contenders are going to be able to get on the other classes, especially. But it will not look like this. I don't think we've ever seen a fight like this one, as we get flashbang to the maximum. Get down, Mr. President.
The flashbang skip. Yeah, flashbang skip. There's a new flashbang skip you can reset at the right time on the flashbang and kind of cut the second half of it off there. So nice. You love to see it. Thanks for saving our eyes, at least partially, Whole New Society.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, some of our players, full screen, they zoom in and they max the brightness in the settings for that. So Whole New Society remaining respectful. Thank you.
And Gormus going for a tactical during the zone transition there. If you're going to go anytime, that's like a nice long time to potentially go. But we have Shackle Coach on a screen now. So Shackle Coach had been a Witch player, I believe it was Witch, for pretty much all the previous races. But in the interest of having the most like competitive, like I was saying earlier in the race, they really just want to have the most kind of like challenging competitive experience and be the best racer they can be. And I love to see that. And they're on Merc this week as a result and doing well. Really well. They've overtaken Angormus.
I mean, Angormus left, but yeah, Shackle Coach is ahead of Angormus.
Yeah, he overtook him just recently. So Shackle Coach having a very nice run here. And that is like, that's such a, like, we saw, I think we first saw Shackle Coach come out in season 1, just a little bit. We got a glimpse of them and we were like, hey, this guy's doing all right. Kind of a new racer, you know, a bit inexperienced, a little bit shaky, but seems to be putting in some work. And then they've just gotten better and better at a consistent pace. And now we see a moment that's probably, on reflection, going to feel really good for them, overtaking Angormus in a race, which is just like that would have been the gold standard, right? Like you feel good if you managed to pull that one off.
Yep.
Very good.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, it really depends on the sort of player that you are. Some players are really dependent on practice. Some other ones not so much. I don't know. For StarCraft, it was somebody like Stefano who never practiced and he seemed to always be fine. For PoE 1, it was Crame who really barely practiced.
So low there. He does manage to just barely survive. Wow, no log.
Yeah.
Didn't even flinch.
It seems like for PoE 2, Angormus is just somebody who really heavily relies on practice, and due to what you were talking about earlier, Ziggy, it seems like Angormus didn't quite get enough practice. Shackle Coach saw that opportunity, and he's capitalizing on it here. It would be really crazy to not just see Mercs overtake Warriors, but also for somebody else to overtake Angormus, somebody who's won 6 races in a row in our previous season, not having nearly as much success this season. Guy that dies, standing in that bubble, Shackle Coach making his way through the prison. But Whole New Society is really the person to keep your eyes on, as he's already getting close to finishing off this race.
Great movement, no deaths, which is really impressive at this point. Of course, we've still got the Tavakai fight coming up, which historically we've seen several deaths from on the Mercs. So we'll have to see if they can have the possibly first deathless Merc run. But they're certainly going to be giving it their all. And I think we can absolutely full screen this and appreciate Whole New Society as they head into the final fight of the campaign and of this race to try and secure the grand victor win in potentially a ridiculous time of sub 230, barring any major issues here. It's a tough fight. Let's see how Tavakai goes for Whole New Society. Phase 1 opening up with some very nice damage.
This first phase is not nearly as difficult, but the boss does move around quite a lot, so you're mostly trying to manage your speed here more than your survivability. Has come out.
Really
nice
good.
dodge on the slam. And we're getting close to phasing him over. I gotta say, though, the damage is not as crazy. It does seem like that elemental damage from his weapon is either beginning to fall off or, yeah. Here we go. Phase 2. You're definitely killable here. I mean, one big adjustment the whole new society has over a lot of other players. Cold resistance is something you sacrifice for this fight, and we've seen players get frozen and die because there's only one attack that kills you here. But whole new society has a ton of cold resistance, so it really does boil down to how well can he dodge these mechanics, how familiar is he with them. The second phase going smoothly so far, misses a little bit on the grenades, the delay coming into play as always, but so much damage coming out. Stays out of that chilled ground.
Oh, okay. He was having a nearly perfect phase 2, but does eat a few attacks and the beam, but gets out of there without too much drama. Life plus.
He doesn't see the boss.
Good. Yeah, not being able to see the boss.
He phased it over.
Okay, that was really good second phase. Couple of little minor, issues there, but pretty good anticipation of the grenades. Great movement. And this is the best DPS phase for the Merc here as well. Nice big boss. Lots of grenade damage to be taken. We'll see if we can get through this without any issues. But honestly, getting past second phase is like that's most of the battle, I feel. That's where I see people die a lot. Okay.
Yeah, the third place is... There are some slams that can kill you instantly, but it's mostly up to that cold. Let's see. Oh! It immediately gets hit by the first slam. It's not going to be enough to kill him. Oh, it's sketchy! There's a lot of spikes.
Yep. Forced to move there, but doesn't even hesitate to keep those grenades rolling. Eats a slam.
He can't see the boss.
He needs to move up.
He's gonna die. He's dead.
There it is.
This was like I was gonna do the Al-Kaiser thing, because I just saw that you don't see the boss. You're standing in spikes. You can't move in. You can't move out. He knew he's gonna die there. But the problem is, if you reset it, you're gonna have to go through everything, and he has to go through everything again. Just by the way. He has to go through phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, and we've got Torvin kill coming up. The kill is coming up for a guy that dies. He's not close, but if Holy Society died once, he can die again.
Yes, if he dies once, he can definitely die again. You saw how quickly that happened. But if he can get this on the next kill, he will have that divination card, grand prize in the bag. But another death, and we're starting to wonder. So he's looks like a little bit of last minute gear, just kind of testing some gear swaps, just seeing what might be better. Looks like no changes in the end. I'm going to proceed the same way into the next attempt here.
It's a big deal, It's one of those things where, yes, he is really far ahead of guy that dies. Yes, he can probably afford to die again. But the thing is, it's a mental battle, right? Once a boss kills you once, you become vulnerable. You don't have the confidence that you had coming into the event, and you die over and over. We've seen it from Sarge in previous races. We saw it from Screws, I think, in the very last race where they weren't even quite able to finish it. I think he just kept dying over and over. We've seen it from some of our other Ranger players. It really is a mental thing. How mentally prepared is whole new society for this race? They've practiced more than anybody, seemingly. But this 2.5 minutes, you can see him spinning. You can see him getting impatient. He's going crazy over here.
It's like enough time to take a deep breath, but it's also enough time to be like, for the thoughts to start to creep in. Maybe I can't do this. Am I going to choke right now? Yep. We have not seen any Merc make it through cleanly, I don't think, and we definitely have seen people have death streaks here. Tavakai is... I love to have a final boss that's so juicy like this. Oh, it's good. It's good. Keeps you guessing right at the end of the race. All right, looks like we're about to move into the fight.
Finds the shrine and goes for it too. Let's see, is he going to be able to get through Benedictus?
If he has a clean Benedictus run, that gives him an opportunity to take advantage of another potential mistake from Whole New Society.
It could be enough. Oh man, the visual clarity from those meteors might actually not be super beneficial.
Eats the first swipe there, goes down to half from Tavakai. Not as
Let's
clean
see.
a first phase this time. He's missing a lot of grenades there as Tavakai's doing his like rolling slams across the entire arena. Gets chain hooked into a slam. Yeah,
I wish we could see the cursor, you know? It's always in the shaking cursor.
Yeah.
Whenever
like
we're watching streams, you can always tell when the cursor is shaking. Oh.
He dodged that slam perfectly last time. Like, he was on top of the world coming into this fight the first time. Like, he was off the back of such a good race. And I definitely think we'd be seeing some shaky cursor right now.
And I think he's making a mistake. Look at the way that he's playing scared. He's staying away from the boss. He's not seeing the boss. It allows the boss to have a bigger angle to hit him.
It's a scary boss, man. I don't blame him.
It's a scary boss. And Guy That Dies manages to kill Benedictus. It really is Whole New Society's race to lose right now.
He's got to stay close to the boss. Yeah, it looked so timid last time and he got absolutely punished for it. So he needs to be on top of that boss right now. This is looking good. This second phase so far, really good grenade play. Oh,
is it though?
No, he's okay. He doesn't log. He stays. He's like, oh, I'm actually at the side of the arena. I can maybe recover. And he does. Nerves of steel to recover from that, I have to say. Especially after that first death, I feel like you'd be tilted and resetting there for sure. But actually goes to see it through. Nice. Good second phase. Yeah, Byron.
That was crazy.
Incident. Yeah. You gotta like kind of shake your hands a little bit, take a deep breath, do a little spin. Yeah, do a little spin.
Go for it.
Third phase. Here he is. Let's not have a repeat of last time. You've got this time to close.
Let's not have a repeat of last time. Let's not die. Oh, there's no way that he could possibly die here. Zero chance.
This is manifesting so hard right now. You like a spicy finish, don't you?
I like a little drama.
Absolutely.
Huge pre-stack.
All right. Yep.
Here comes the attack.
Damage. Still feeling like pretty far. Okay. Yeah. Doesn't need anything there. Calculated positioning.
What?
Going a little low from the fireballs. The spikes.
Oh, the spikes are good.
You can't see him again. But he's managing the lightning phase.
He's going to kill it before it finishes the stun. That's going to be enough.
This is where he gets it. He has the chance.
He's got it.
Yes. For sure. Yes. Wow. Nicely done. Whole New Society covered in blood. What an absolute phenomenal race for him. One little upset there at the end. A little bit of a shaky finish on a very, very intimidating boss. We still have yet to see the perfect Deathless Merc run, but we did just see a world record run. I'm going to get the official times for you folks very soon, and we'll find out. I mean, we know that is a divination card design in the bag. I look forward to seeing, well, divination cards getting implemented, but also to seeing what they design. Something to commemorate their race victory here. Phenomenal effort from Whole New Society here. And we got to see it live. Sorry, Flance.
2 hours, 30 minutes, and 2 seconds.
Nice.
Could have been a 2:25. Okay, that's crazy.
Yeah. So it'll be something very close to that 2 hours and 30 minutes mark. We can get the official time fully in a moment there, but that is the winning, and that's the record. You know, we have seen some faster runs on practice runs and some faster hypotheticals, but not by much. That is a very, very solid effort. Let us take a look at how the rest of the race is going for our other races today.
Oh, man. Guy That Dies. I think he gave up. He stayed. He kept playing. He thought that maybe he can still pull something off, but looking at him now...
Is he done?
He might have given up. It is a mercenary. No more demi for him.
That's the mercenary demi gone. That's the divination card gone. And at this point, you're kind of just finishing for yourself, right? But and Guy That Dies might have determined that that is not going to be happening today. I see that Screws is still going to close out their run, and Shackle Coach as well. I don't anticipate a tap from Shackle Coach because they want to just do their best run that they can do. So yeah, we'll see Shackle Coach.
This guy doesn't tap.
He
don't hear no bell.
Yeah, I'd never see Shackle Coach tap out.
This guy doesn't hear a bell in his life. He's going until the end.
We'll see what other people that are streaming we can chuck on then, since Guy That Dies does seem to be having abandoned ship, so to speak, if I stand on the ship.
I'm catching up on Lightspeed Cake, and with 562 life, 187 energy shield, he's trying to make his way through the prison, still with that caster setup. It's looking interesting.
Yeah, we're definitely going to be able to see some of the other classes close out now. We'll still check in on some of the other mercs and just see how they're going. Some of their efforts are definitely to be appreciated. Screws in the background having a Benedictus fight right now gets them down to about 2 HP, and then Benedictus summons the maze. Classic. Taylor's oldest time. But they'll be closing out the race. And they're closing out that boss kill there. All right. Oh, yeah, we got Shackle Coach and Sarge 2. A little bit of a reshuffle on screen here. And we've got Screws up in the top left, who is our current player in second place. So they'll be going for number 2 Merc. No demis for them, but a lot of respect nonetheless. And also for Guy That Dies. They had a really good race as well. Honestly, really good performances for both Screws and Guy That Dies. But but Whole New Society was just too good. Just too good.
Yeah, maybe we have some other class race that's kind of close. Again, I'm looking at Lightspeed Kick, but I don't think there's any other sorcerers that's close. In Shackle Coach making his way through on the Mercenary. I wonder how the Rangers and maybe Bunka, how they are doing.
Yeah, we had every class finish in 3 hours, with that last class just being slightly over 3 hours. So I wonder if we're seeing a repeat of that, or even a bit of an improvement over that this time around. We'll have to see how classes. We did have a few people kind of shuffle around though, and some people go for the Merc. A bit of a swap to Merc, so maybe some of those people might have swapped off.
Yep. For sure. Checking the ladder, obviously there's a lot of players who are pretty severely over leveling. We've got a level 39 Ranger who's currently rank 1 in terms of XP, 2 levels ahead of anybody else.
Yeah, Kiom is first Ranger to start Act 4, so Kiom might be a good person to spectate now. I believe they're probably not streaming, so we might have to use the spectator client for them, potentially, if we want to check in on them.
Checking out the over-leveled Ranger. Let's see where they are. On Whakapanu Island! Okay. Might be a tight race between our Ranger enjoyers here. We're not quite close to finishing.
So Kiom first Ranger to start, but it seems like a close run for them potentially. Apparently another monk player by the name of Bin Bin.
The Ranger on Whakapanu Island is dead. That is Lisa Ratha. Lisa Lartha. Lisa?
You can do
Rahla.
Rahla. You got there. We have Kiom on screen here, and we got to see last week some late game Ranger play, and we get to see that a little bit earlier now, which is really cool because the lightning rods is obscene. Yep, what you've seen from grenades dishing out some immense damage, and earlier in the runs with the fireball one, forget the name of it, that one doing some crazy damage. Yeah, just doesn't even compare to what you can do with lightning rod fully stacked. Lightning rod
and this is important.
Obscene.
Kiom is also using MTXs, which is, I think, worth mentioning.
Worth mentioning. We do see people using the demigods helmets for their races quite often. The previous winners repping their trophies, as you should. When we say using them, that's just the cosmetic skin transfer. They don't get any advantages. Everyone's on a level playing field as much as is possible here, especially with the fixed seed, giving everyone the same layouts and stuff. I love that part of the racing. It just comes down to their zone reads, their strategies overall. But Kiom having a little bit of a scroll of Kiom's gear there. I see a few uniques being shown on stream right now. Ooh.
Yeah, pretty, I mean, okay-ish weapon. Nothing too crazy there. Nothing on the spear, 165 attacks per second. I do think that he uses the spear for the disengage. I gotta say, the disengage is pretty cool. He does have Wake of Destructions as well, which is 1 to 49 lightning damage to attacks. That's a pretty big deal.
That's a lot of lightning damage. Really good for those shocks there. Yes, we're seeing it. Obviously, this is more likely to happen on the Ranger, but we're seeing some escape shot action there, I believe. I need to spectate Kiom. Let me find Kiom's name.
Yep, there's escape shot for sure.
Yeah, so
escape shotting, disengaging.
I'm excited about this because I had heard rumblings that escape shot could be faster than leap slam by like 20 to 30%. and some
Ooh.
people who would be doing leap slam in Act 4
Ooh, he's
talking about
stuck.
some escape shot
Okay, he's
action.
good. He's chilling.
Thank you. We can have a little bit of a look there. We do have Screws coming pretty close to the Tavakai fight. I'll give you a heads up when we want to swap over to them for the Tavakai fight so we can see them close out and see if we get a Deathless Mercenary run. I don't know if they're...
Yeah, Shackle Coach. Shackle Coach is close as well. As Benedictus is coming up, I wonder if he's going to be able to handle it. 710 life.
We'll definitely peek back in on Kiom as well, as I like to see this... I like to see this.
I'm watching Kiom.
Yeah, I'm watching Kiom as well at the moment. But just have a little peek. We've got a minute before they get to Tavakai. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good gear. I love the white spear. You could be transmuting that spear. No time. Got to run.
No time. Got to run. Doesn't pay off nearly as much. I think.
Just using it to disengage. Doesn't make a difference.
Does disengage have?
It has the flat added attack speed. So
right. Yeah.
So its minimum attack speed is like pretty set in stone. A bit of attack speed makes a slight difference, but not really too much. Honestly, cooldown.
Kind of like
cooldown recovery is a bigger thing.
Yeah, it's like Rake in the same way. But Screws is struggling a little bit with the layout as I'm watching in the background. But he is making it through, and he is at the boss. All right, we can check out Screws.
Time. We'll swap over to Screws now and check out the Tavakai fight for them as they're just about to start their phase 1. And I don't know if we can get a death count on them. Team, can we get a death count on them?
Nice. I can type /deaths. I mean, it says you have 0. So.
I'm pretty sure that means us. We have 0 as the spectators.
No,
I should think so.
Nah.
We'll get an official death count because I'm wondering if this could be our first mercenary deathless. We're not to jinx it or anything. Oh, okay. We do only have 684 health, a fair bit less than Whole New Society had.
Yeah, that is
really good damage.
Hopefully it's going to be enough. Are we looking at Screws?
Yeah, we're getting... Can we get Screws on screen, team? It's phase 2 coming up for Tavakai right now. If we can get Screws swapped over camera crew.
Oh, unlucky.
Might be able to just thread the needle between these two boss fights. Perfect. All right, we are loading into the Screws fight. Tavakai round 2 is going down now. Long load screen, but the fight proceeds nonetheless. Screws having a very clean second phase here and perfectly positions against several of these spikes and just keeping a constant barrage of the grenades. Actually just flawless phase 2 there. Sorry for the long load, but we do have them on screen now. There we have Screws going into phase 3. Barring any upsets, so got some nice rapid spins there. They're staying right on top of them, looking confident, looking calm and collected.
Shackle Coach died in the background, by the way.
No!
Unfortunately, Benedictus was too much.
The mercenary
deathless. Not going to be a deathless there. Deathless run there.
Every mercenary gets a death, maybe, unless. Okay, I've got a long freeze on Screws. What happened?
He reset. I think the boss bugged. I think it wasn't phasing. Something was weird. You couldn't see the HP bar.
Like our perspective is not quite indicative fully of what's happening. So we do have a reset there, but it wasn't a death. They're not paused. So I'm not sure what happened there.
Were his potions okay? I mean, probably. He wasn't really potting earlier.
Yeah, it goes for the reset nonetheless. But we go again. That's good.
We go again.
Now you get to see it in all its glory. That a really good run through first
and second phase last
time. So now you get to see it. We're not stuck on a load screen this time. Good positioning for the slam. Maybe like a little bit of excessive dodge rolling, maybe.
I'm watching Shackle Coach do Benedictus. He ain't looking confident. I gotta tell you that much. It's scary. These bosses are ridiculous. They do a little bit way too much.
Oh, was a death on Benedictus, was it? That's tough.
Yep.
It's not where you want to go down, is it? First phase down.
Screws.
The Screws, very nice. Yeah. I could do this all day. Maze phase. Benedictus getting nice and low for Shackle Coach. Honestly, it seems like they've had a really good run, being able to overtake Angormus once again. Really, really good. They're pretty close to Angormus right now, taking down Benedictus first. Very nice. Second phase. Oh, he was sprinting. No, he's dead. He's dead. Oh, no. It is impossible for a mercenary to get deathless. We have statistical evidence to prove that you cannot have a deathless mercenary run to Tavakai in under 3 hours. Statistic.
Yeah, we've
certainty. I don't think we've had anyone
really haven't had
on that one yet. Oh dear.
Okay, well, Angormus is doing his Benedictus now. I wonder how that fight's gonna go.
Apparently, it's actually 5 deaths, so we probably missed some deaths earlier in the run when we were swapping around. Would explain.
Yeah, Screws died to the. Screws was the first person to die to the monkey, no? I think it was Screws.
Right, the monkey.
Because he was rank 1, yeah.
Forgot about the monkey. That was brutal.
All right, let's see this Benedictus fight for Angormus. Shekel Coach manages to get through. Sarge doing his Diamora. Damn.
Good damage. And the stun build up is so fast on the warrior with all that physical damage. Damn.
But he's going to have to deal with the boss in the second phase because he did the stun in the first phase.
Still has to do a little bit of work here. I think Benedictus is going to be disappearing before anything too dramatic happens for him here. He does have to wait, though.
He has to do the maze.
Yeah. Typical Benedictus. Typical.
Classic.
Classic Benedictus. He likes to do that when there's like, oh, health.
Here comes the slam. Ooh, Angormus is thinking about resetting it. That was close.
He toughs it out. Yeah,
nice.
Think about it.
One more dodge. Oh, he gets him. Oh, he lives.
Angormus.
Jeez.
So shield wall blocking some.
Does he live?
Come on, please, mate. Come on, it's so close.
He's gonna get slammed. Oh, he dodges it. Nice.
What? How is he still alive?
He's still alive. Angormus just can't put out the damage. Here we go.
Lord, Angormus, what a hero. I love it. Nerves of steel. Look at him. Yeah, yes. Good job, Angormus. That was a good effort, mate.
He's
being so expressive right now. He's having a rant. Yeah. He's like, it's all in your head, man. No. Good job. Oh, I love it. I love it. Heart of PoE2 esports. Angormus takes down after multiple near misses there. And just
it's important for him to do well. I mean, Arco is kind of close on the warrior. It probably isn't going to be enough, but
you can't lose his 100% demi streak. Just again, Angormus may have fallen behind the #1 overall Merc whole new society here by a good margin, but this is every demi for Angormus if he gets this one in the bag. Like, he has not missed.
I just realized
100%.
That the attacks from Tavakai kind of look like Kryptonite and Screws. This boss is definitely his Kryptonite, so
yes, indeed.
Phase 1 again. Let's see.
Especially those mercenaries. Yes, definitely.
Man, he's running out of mana. That might have been the problem. He's kind of running out of mana. The mana cost is really serious. He doesn't seem to have any recovery. He has to chuck his mana potions.
That's quite hard. It can happen if your damage is a little bit behind, and like his damage is the crossbow is decent. There's some damage on the rest of the gear. I'm honestly a little surprised. It might be a little bit kind of over-aggressive tapping in the mana flask, maybe. I mean, it's filled back up now, so should be pretty clean. You can put out a lot more damage in these second and third phases. More just about that not dying thing, eh? Let's see how that one plays out.
Yeah, I'm checking out Kiyomi. He's not quite at the boss yet, but he's close.
Heart. I cannot. No, do not be eating the rain, please. Look, not even using that flask, just waiting for the regen. Going for the delayed flask while the boss is stunned. Okay.
Oh, wow, that's crazy. Okay, we have a bunch of different classes coming up. We have the Ranger from Kiyomi. We have Bin on the Mercenary. So again, beating out Sarge potentially here.
Yeah, it looks like we'll be swapping to Bin next. It looks like Whole New Society moving into the third phase. That's good. Hopefully they can secure this kill because we don't want to miss the other runners on the other classes if we can. Looks like Bin hasn't started the fight yet, so we still have a little bit of time. But that's a really good effort for them because Sarge's still in Shark Island.
Yes, the Kiyomi is close too, so we're not missing anything yet.
Yeah, we're going to catch as much as we can. I think we did a pretty good job this team. This week. Good job, everyone.
Let's go.
We got all the moments.
Tell us how Screws is doing.
Yes.
I can't see anything.
Okay. All right. Yeah. This is really good. He hasn't taken any big hits or anything so far. Just a couple little chips of his health. Life Flask is at half. Boss is at half. Dodges the big slam. No issues with the spikes. It's forced to reposition by the sun going up into the air there. Really good damage output. Narrowly positioning on the spikes. Just constant dodge rolling. Gets the kill with a little bit of slight panic rolling at the end there, but does manage to secure it. Really nicely done there on that second kill. That was good. Oh, but then you see that and you're like, oh, you could have done that the first time though, right? You go, oh, that's what I'd be feeling.
Bin
That was really good.
Bin on the Monk is fighting Tavakai, but we also have the Lightning Rod happening for Kiom as well.
God, are they both fighting
gone through the first phase too. Yeah.
I don't know. I like Lightning Rod.
I kind of want to see Kiom.
Yeah, go Kiom. I'll keep an eye on the
Lightning Rod is spicy.
Lightning Rod is so juicy. I'll have a look at the Monk, and I think that'll be second kill, so we can swap maybe right away after them.
Okay, Kiom down to the second phase now. Let's see. 748 life, 19 shield, battling for the rank 1 Ranger damage, dropping a little low there, but nothing he can't handle. Staying alive, but the boss is moving around so much. The lightning rod, it's just...
Yeah.
Oh, but the lightning rod is landing and the boss is electrocuted. He's shaking 35 shock.
Brutal.
The bleed is there. The damage is there. Phase 3 coming up, but Tavakai continues with his abilities. Now he's going to get phased.
In the background,
Bin apparently first.
Monk. Third phase is going well with the shield slam approach. Gets the stun down to half. We see pre-stacking going down for the Ranger as well. I think Bidman's going to get their kill. Yep, it's happening. Comfortable kill from the Monk in the background. Look at that damage from the...
Nicely done. Phase 3. For Kiom on the Ranger. So much pre-stacking. A lightning rod popping off. The boss is not moving. He's stuck. Oh, nicely positioned. Prevents the boss from getting out of the way. What just happened? Oh no, Kiom actually dropped on the ground. He tried sprinting away and...
Oh, it gets leaped on as well. The electrocute saves the day. God, I love that electrocute. Shackle Coach popping off in the background, gets the mercenary kills. Such a phenomenal effort from them. They have really just improved so much week to week. Good job. I've been loving seeing their practice. Kiom just gets the kill as well. At the same time as Bin actually got that kill just slightly before. So we have a first place Monk for Bin. We have a first place Ranger for Kiom, and then Shackle Coach taking third mercenary, I believe. We can double check the standings there, but a really good effort from Shackle Coach. I love to see it. I always appreciate it. He wears his emotions on his sleeve, gets really into it. I love that. The pop off there at the end feels good to see. Love it. Wow, that was really exciting. Kind of like several runs, and it's not over yet because we do see phase 2 for Angormus on the Warrior there. I don't know if anyone else is here at the moment, so we may be able to full screen them.
Yeah, the Lightspeed Cake on the Sorceress is still pretty far away.
Here we go.
So we have a nice fight for Angormus. How good is this going to be?
Great dodge rolls. Angormus
the sun is dropping. He's going to have to get a little bit out of the way. That's going to be a lot of damage. Angormus in danger, has to roll out. Ooh, does get hit, but it's not going to be enough to take him down. He's ignited. He stays alive, though. Tanks a slam there. This phase 2 being super difficult. Has to dodge out of the slam, and the boss should be phasing. It's phasing. Okay. Oh, in the meanwhile, Lightspeed Cake dying in the background, not able to get through Arastas. So we're not going to be seeing a Sorceress finish anytime soon, as Angormus is question marking.
Question mark? There's apparently a witch on Tavakai as well, which we might be able to get on the spectators. We might have to exit full screen to see how they're going, because I would definitely want to see how the witch is going.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, let's drop full screen and spectate the witch too at the same time here if we can.
Yeah, it is crazy to see. I mean, we've still got the Huntress, but the Sorceress might be our final kill.
And Gorm's phase 3 going very well so far, putting a lot of damage. Certainly, Warrior being a little bit tankier here does help. And man, that is just really good damage output from Angomas. That phase 3 was just gone. Nicely done, Angomas. Secures 9 demigods. 9 demigods. What is he? He's going to need a new stash tab for them soon. Oh, you love to see it. Definitely well earned from Angomas. Nicely done, mate. So I know it was a bit of a rough race for him. Losing that gem earlier on was definitely got to feel really bad. Arco getting
we missed one
in the background. Do we miss the witch in the background while load screening?
We did.
Yeah, we got stuck on.
Well, I guess
screen.
too. Unlucky.
Yes, we did have the witch finish. We might be able to see another witch, maybe to see what the playstyle and such is looking like. Possibly. I see there's an Infernalist getting pretty close to finishing, maybe. Let's have a look at who is left to go, Rise. We have the
Huntress and Sorceress, right?
Huntress and Sorceress, with that being Witch. Yeah, so that's Huntress and Sorceress is all that's left, I believe.
Yeah, we've got Lightspeed Cake making it through Erastus after an unfortunate rip, so he's going to have to redo that extremely annoying zone that we talked about. He was already down at the bee farm, and that's exactly where he died. So huge thing he's gonna have to get through. Meanwhile, Bunka on a death timer. Guess where? It's Benedictus, baby. It's the Huntress that we're looking at. Lightspeed Cake still pretty far away. It's crazy to see, honestly, how Sorceress was in the lead for so long for Lightspeed Cake, and it's most likely looking, as in terms of progression right now, to be the last class to finish. So super strong Act 1. Pretty good Act 2, but Acts 3 and 4 still need a lot of work. Man, 599 life for Bunka. Even less than the Sorceress. Only 29 energy shield. Yeah. Damn, Bunka really putting up a big fight here. He is using crossbows from the looks of it, so rocking that grenade mercenary-like setup. Let's see how this Benedictus fight is going to go. He manages to find it. Bunka on a Huntress. How strong is this class?
The pre-positioning of the grenades over there. Nice.
Nice.
Slightly off, but it does manage to kind of just get the edge of it there. Really good damage output.
Damn, he's going to build up the stun through the transition phase. Oh, he's not doing it. Oh, no. Big mistake. Actually, no. Okay, he manages to do it just before, so the stun doesn't drop off. Oh, yeah.
Oh, the lightning damage. So 578.
That was close.
Surprising
he gets the stun.
That it's still alive.
Oh, no. Lights.
Yeah, I'm surprised.
Lightspeed Cake dies in the background to the most annoying boss ever. I don't know if we're going to see a Sorceress finish this week. It is just too out of reach.
Coming up on that 3-hour mark. How far off are they, Rose?
Man, I can't. They're far away. They died to Torvin, so it's rough. And they're not even respawning. I think Lightspeed Cake, he's been just beat down.
Oh, no.
He's in pain.
Oh, no. That's rough. That's rough. We can cheer on Bunker as they close on out then for the final race here. Mm-hmm. What a phenomenal set of races we've had. Definitely been like more hectic and certainly very challenging to cast and follow compared to the earlier seasons, as more and more people have become really good racers and more diversity between the classes that are competing, and just like it's so different from week to week too. Strategies still developing so rapidly, not only like obviously a new act changing things up a lot, but even the earlier acts with strategies for Act 2 changing dramatically over time. People doing entire new routings, dropping things that they did in earlier races, and like I think we saw a whole new society really like slimming things down too, like going for a bit more of a leaner run, like cutting some of the fluff that other races are going for on the Merc, just being like, I can do without this. I don't need the flashbang. I don't need this. I don't need that. I'll just cut that. Like, yeah, I'll get a little bit behind on XP, but here's how I can deal with that. I think we saw like some really nice optimization there, and like when you start to see people just cutting stuff ruthlessly from their strategies, that's when you're like, okay, yeah, they're kind of getting things done here. All right, Bunker is on their final run now. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. Lightspeed Cake having to suffer through that extremely painful, previously mentioned rerun of Arasta. Man, that is really rough. That even if you die to the boss, you have to rerun the entire zone. Mamma mia.
Yes.
Yeah, we're probably gonna be
stuck in the bubble.
We're probably going to close things off with Bunka running a little bit longer, as this is our final race of the season before the next Path of Exile 2 League. And I really want to see what kind of damage can the Huntress do here. Again, I'm mostly worried about the survivability. 599 life. Just so ridiculous. It's interesting, though.
Yeah, so Bunka's finish last week was really good at 2 hours and 53 minutes. So we're definitely going to be a little bit slower than that this time, as we're at 2 hours and 58 minutes now. 59 actually just ticked over. So a little bit of a slower finish for Bunka here after maybe an extra death or two during the run, maybe.
Maybe 3, because he's dropping low.
Yeah, that's I'm definitely nervous for the Tavakai kill here. How many deaths do we get before the official cast closes out, right? That's always a tough decision to make.
I feel like this is we kind of committed now, right? We're like, oh yeah, we're gonna close things off after he finishes. What if he never finishes and we're here forever?
What if it has happened on Tavakai on occasion? How close is the next racer, I wonder, the next Huntress? Because that might determine if there's no one close, they might try and push through, or I don't know if someone overtakes. Let's see.
Lightspeed Cake fighting Torvian in the meanwhile. In the background, still trying to pick up their Sorceress Demi. The class 2 most likely finish last, which again is so crazy. When they were in the lead for so long in Act 1. It's a big rock. As Bunka jumping around, hippity-hoppiting. You know what? We could switch over just to watch a little bit of the caster POV on the Torvian fight, as we're still making our way over.
Yeah, for sure.
I
think like to see the... we haven't got quite enough screen time.
Lightspeed Cake is in trouble. It is looking rough. I don't know if you guys can see it yet. Maybe production can let us know if we swept over. Okay, yeah.
Good job, production. Yeah, just in time to catch that.
No potions. 1 potion. Sorry. That might not be enough.
It's looking wafer thin. There's still a fair bit of boss to go here. Definitely a little concerning. Damn,
the boss.
like that barrage. But it's not as spicy as it was earlier.
He throws the rock at the wrong platform.
The top one is buffing.
There we go. Oh yeah, and he misses the second one. Did he miss? I think so. The beam comes down. The Ember Fusillade stacking. The slam is there. The door is there. Where's the boss?
Oh no. Oh, so much drama. Oh my lord.
Bunka's dead in the background, just by the way.
Yes, the drama continues with Bunka having their first death in phase 1 of Tavakai, while Lightspeed Cake does. Oh, maybe.
And Lightspeed Cake is dead too.
No, what? There's 1 hit point left on the boss. Oh no.
Damn, that was so clean from Torvian too. Just hits it on the bounce back.
Yes, a phenomenal effort to the AI boss there. Well played to them. Absolutely making a great showing in today's race. Murdering players ruthlessly. Good heavens.
All right, well, I mean, technically, we're going to be able to watch Bunka first, as they died a little bit earlier.
Come on,
died
Bunka.
In phase 1.
Come on, Bunka.
Kind of unusual.
Yeah, the death on phase 1, I mean, we're looking at 588 health right now. It's like Torvid, that earlier boss, does 500 damage with his little 1-2 slap that he does. We might be able to cheer on another attempt here, though, in just a minute.
I wonder. It's kind of looking like Lightspeed Cake bailed out. I think the psychological damage of playing a sorceress was just too much. He's got the skill, he's got the mechanics. I think sorceress doesn't have the toolkit
of playing a sorceress. Damn.
Okay, Lightspeed Cake deleted their character. They didn't. They got so frustrated they didn't even go for the demi. They still could have gotten the demigods,
but would have been on shot for a demi. Still, the next Sork is still a bit off, I think. But no,
it was too much.
Done. Again, like you said, the psychological damage of playing a sorceress. Quotable.
Oh, there's another Sork that won. Okay, so Lightspeaking actually wasn't even...
Three knife. Three knife. Yeah, they snuck in there. Nicely done to three knife. That is a name I've been seeing a little bit more, and they got a 246 last week, so it's definitely a fair bit slower than last time, but
right.
Nicely done. So congrats to them for taking the demi. I'll give you a bit of a rundown here while we wait for Bunker. So, of course, we had Whole New Society taking first mercenary for both the demigods, their second demigods, I believe, and, well, maybe some on the other classes. I can't quite recall. But, obviously, that divination card design, that overall win, very nicely done. Very nicely done.
There we go.
All right, it's time.
Bunker. Can he do it? Is it even doable? How possible?
It is
this boss?
I'm not gonna lie, it requires some heroic effort here to get this.
Yeah, attacks that would normally not one-shot you on this boss, which just about everything one-shots you, but some other classes can survive it. Bunka can't afford to even take a singular auto attack here.
Yeah,
it's just so sketchy.
It really has to be pretty much perfect, and that's a difficult fight to be perfect in. There's a lot of really complicated attacks.
Slam!
Health for 7 hit points remaining. Lucky number 7.
That was a low roll too, for sure, from the boss. That really should have killed them. We've seen players get hit for more than 600 before.
Wow, I want to see them like close out this fight after that survival, because that's amazing. After just barely surviving that, it would be painful to die again after this one. But you got this 7 hit points. That's all you need. Like you said, it's a resource. They spent it.
Yeah, that was
they spent it.
Very tactical. I've never seen anybody manage their resources this well.
The 29 energy shield coming in clutch, actually.
Actually true. Holy, the single target on phase 2, though. It's huge.
Big damage. That stun's almost there, which, like, this is really helpful to get through that second phase. Oh, that's really good.
He's got it.
That second phase is really good. Okay. All right, Bunka, you can do this. Bunka.
Yeah, the Huntress does take more time to build up, but once you get there, man, the single target actually looks pretty good.
Damage is here at the end.
But survivability being the key factor is not. So he's going to have to expertly dodge all the attacks. Phase 3, building up. As Ziggy mentioned previously, the hitbox of the boss really helps in this phase to maximize output. Ooh,
well-timed
the
grenades.
boss might...
Yeah.
Oh, he's in trouble.
Oh, no.
Okay, no, we're good.
I can't look. Okay. He's way too far away. He can't see the boss. Oh, the leap slam. He couldn't see it coming. He survived still somehow. With no health.
He might kill the boss here. He might get it.
So much damage. That slam from the boss was just like off the arena. That's helpful. He's stunned. He's able to get it. That's miraculous. Well done, Bunker. What an amazing kill. All right. And that sees us off for today's race. Thank you very much, Bunker, for such a fine closing statement there against Tavakai. That was better than some of the actual Merc kills that we saw there. Really, really good. Love to see 100%. A nice, strong finish. Very cool. What a fine race for us to end Season 3 on, folks. I want to say thanks to GGG for putting on these races. I love casting it with you, Raiz. Thanks for casting with me as well, mate.
Thank you.
It's been such a good time, and I want to give a special shout out as well to the racers, in particular Angormus, Sky That Dies, and Crimson Casts, who have been helping me with like race research and helping us prep and follow all of the various practice and strategies and things that have gone into this, because it's like so much going on all at once, so many different classes, so many different strategies evolving over time, all the new cool skips and little insights and things like that. And thanks to our production team in the background as well, from GGG, doing a really good job to catch all the action today. It has been a good time, and thank you all very much for watching and being a great audience. I love to see the excitement in the chat. But we hope to see you again for Season 4 during the next Path of Exile 2 League. And who knows what we'll have then? Maybe some Druid racing? How cool would that be?
One thing that's really exciting is how just so much faster, right? You remember during the second season when we talked about at the start of the third season, oh, nobody's going to get faster times than Rake. No, nobody. It's impossible. It's just too good. Well, turns out there's like a 20-minute difference between Rake and everything else. So pretty good.
Can you do 2.5 hour Act 4? Well, I mean, if you can, you should Why are you not racing right now? Be there for season 4. Anyway, thanks very much.
And to everybody
much,
watching, everybody complaining how you take 10 hours to get to maps, okay? And you can do that in PoE 1, but you can't do it in PoE 2. Skill issue, guys. Get good. Because these guys are doing it, and you can do it too. Join the racing Discord
Seriously.
and start practicing.
Get involved. The community is really helpful. Alrighty, that is all we have time for now, folks. Thanks very much for hanging out. I'm ZIGGYD, joined by RaizQT, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.